Vibe blowing up the jack, got the loud jumping at the back. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the bands jumping at the bag. Vibe blowing up my jack, got the loud jumping at the back. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is got the bands jumping out the bag. Another milestone, look at that. Paper boy, got my paper route till I'm 6 down on my back. I'm an old soul like my dad. My old girl still a fan. And yo girl at the live show, so don't act like I ain't the man. I'm kicking my feet up, you frank like Aretha. I'm calm but I'm teed up, just flip me a stack. The real just doubled up off of the muscle, I stuck to the task. They see me, I'm troubled, I'm bubbling up till it's stuck. And they want me to stay where I'm at. I'm good everywhere that I'm stepping, my presence is crucial. You know that this shit not on trend. On a big wave, I'm controlling the tide. Snake eyes when you rolling the dice. So with the stakes inside, I can never take another nigga advice. They can't reach the sky, I'm aiming up high. I just wanna know what it's like. Y'all know what it's like, I come from outside of this. Out the quicksand, I'm the big man, doing big things. Cop a big change, up a state lines, doing stage dives on cam. It ain't no limit to my vision. Check the temp, I'm on fire with it. Got the bands jumping out the bag, Prosecco on ice. I'm nobody nice, but run up a check. Demand my respect. I'm doing the most, I never quit. They want me to quit. I'm good as it come, I'm good as it gets. Vibe blowing at the jack, got the loud jumping out the bag. Everything I'm on slack. Everything I do is
and you're in the Desert Storm bunker with Hollywood CGA.
Yeah. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor.
What's going on, everybody? It is Coach Greg Adams back in here with another YouTube live stream. Shout out to the Coach Gang.
And that's you.
For being in here, being involved, being active on this YouTube channel. And welcome back to the internationally known and recognized symbol of YouTube and excellence in entertainment, the Boss Up Show. Part of the Free Agent Lifestyle podcast here on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. You in here with the Bruce Wayne. It is Ish, the King of Kings, the King of Content, and the Speaker of Truth. Yours truly, the notorious one, a.k.a. Mr. Coachellini, better known as the Prognosticator, Coach Stradamus. And you're in the Desert Storm bunker with Hollywood CGA and EWF. That is every woman's fantasy in the hoe fucking show. I'm the CEO, Niggero of Fixes Binds LLC, the unbinder, the undebatable, the undisputed best entertainment here on YouTube. You can call me Senor Gregorio Graybeard. The ladies love to call me Mr.
Your third leg was just
Third
phenomenal.
Leg Greg. Also the man with one throw-by-hole. That is the ecclesiastical Mitch Slapper. You're looking at the anointed one.
Acknowledge me.
Anointed in Christ. The founding father of the After Pill, the junior college sociologist, the Morpheus of the mating matrix, the chocolate Confucius, the Black Moses, the deliverer. Also known as the man that ecclesiastically walks in the spirit of Elijah. I'm the man with more nicknames than anyone in the game. But in case you forget those names, just call me CGA, C, God, Allah. And you're looking at the reigning and defending 14-time demonetized champion of YouTube. We got a great show for you lined up for this weekend.
What's up, nigga? What's up for the weekend?
You made
nigga?
it through the week. It was a short week for you if you're a government employee or you took some time off for Memorial Day. You made it through your tough week, and we made it through a good week of shows. I think the shows have been fantastic. They've been fantastic, man. We had a good time this week. All right, I took Monday off too, but we gonna have a good time coming up for the weekend. What y'all got planned?
What's up, nigga? What's up for the weekend?
I had
nigga?
a 4-day weekend, 3-day weekend last weekend, but we got some good weekend shit coming up here. And we got a good show for you here. Today's fucking show. It says today's women have freedom and men can't handle it. And they can't handle the truth about the modern dating matrix and marketplace. We have a great video of a young man. I think I've featured him before on the video. He's a fat white guy. All right. And he's talking about how women have adjusted to the modern matrix and they're actually forming other communities in terms of survival, and how the nuclear family was a aberration in the timeline that a lot of men have actually wanted to go back to, right? They want to go back to the nuclear family. And we're going to look at the statistics related to that and why most men will not have a nuclear family. Most men will not have a nuclear family. No, it's not going to be possible for most men to have a nuclear family. And there's a variety of reasons why I'm going to talk about that later on in today's show, despite the fact that PBD and the traditional conservatives think that they're going to bring back the traditional family. Oh, yeah. All right. We got that coming up. And also India Love out here. Another woman regrets being in these streets. All right.
In these streets.
We're going to talk about what the pivot looks like for a woman to come back from the streets and back to the regular marketplace. We also have a little bit of Straggle and Sniggle theater. We also have Rachel Rizz, IShowSpeed running game in South Korea. All right, South Korea. All right, this is an older video, but
what kind of fuck you give me?
I should have reviewed this when I was on my Ling tour.
American people ain't kind of fuck.
And I'm going to break down why IShowSpeed's Rizz game was not working in South Korea. Also, a guy who is, I don't know if you guys know, AI is taking over the social media and also doing well in what we call the OnlyFans territory. Well, it's not always OnlyFans, but there's a variety of sites that they can use. There's a variety of sugar daddy sites. There's a variety of dating apps. There's also a variety of these pay for content sites where women, and not just women, men like myself, celebrities, entertainers, musicians, comedians, YouTubers can make extra money through their fans. All right. But most of these sites actually probably have a majority of their women on there, the people on there selling their wares or underwears or drawers or their body. Apparently the AIs are taking over, and I actually had some woman show me her page full of Instagram AI women, and it is crazy. It's pretty phenomenal of the work that is being done. And we're going to look at a young man who claims he made $43,000 with an AI bot. All right, an AI bot, and he runs it out of his college dorm. All right, we're going to look at that later on. But to contribute to today's show, $ the notorious CGA on the Cash App. It is Venmo, Coach Greg Adams TV. It is PayPal, paypal.me/Coach Greg Adams. And that is near the top of the description box on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. And you can super chat by clicking the link on the top of the live chat.
New World Order.
Or the bottom of the live chat on the Free Agent Lifestyle channel. They didn't switched it up, right? They didn't switch the damn thing up, and now it's at the bottom. Anyway, we do have some earlier contributors to today's show. All right, and how about yesterday's show? People were mad. They were angrier than a wet hornet yesterday. All right, Coach, just stick to the topics. It was the topic. Like, whatever I'm discussing, I can discuss it. All right, I don't have to discuss what's on the thumbnail. All right, you guys realize that. I'm like doing you a favor. Actually, do me a favor because I can just stay on it. But everybody knows whatever's on the thumbnail, I'm only going to talk about it for 15 minutes. It's like a 3.5 hour show. All right, people be like, I wanted to know the main event, Coach. I wanted to know the main event. I don't have to cover the main event. I mean, I could just switch the thumbnail like I switched it. All right, nobody knows what the main event was. All right, but I don't have to talk about the main event. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about, boy. But the Christians were butthurt. All right, you should leave the Christians alone. Nope, no. Why do you think I'm supposed to leave you alone? And you know what really gets them pissed off is that when they have no rebuttal, all they have is threats. Well, you're going to pay for that later on in your life when you die. All right, well, I'm also going to pay life insurance when I die. Like, well, they start threatening you and shit. All right, it's like, you better leave God's name alone because he's going to come down and do what? Do what he's doing for the war, people getting blown up. All right, he seems to be on business. I think I'm not a priority in his life. All right, don't worry about it, bro. It'll be okay, nigga. All right, I have an ego, but not that much ego. I don't think God's worried about me on a daily basis. He has other things to worry about, like his failures in all other aspects of the world. You think he's worried about me? He's still trying to fight the devil after 5,000 years. All right. He still hasn't figured out how to have Satan burn in hell, in his own hell. All right. I think I'll be all right. I think I'll pass by, I'll be able to slip through the pearly gates like, yeah, go through the back door. Pause. All right. Boy, ain't nobody worried about y'all punk ass niggas threatening me. Go die on a cross. Anyway, they're leaving the show already. Okay, I'll leave you alone for a second. But I can talk about you. All right. I can't talk about you niggas. Like, I'm not scared of Christians and their threats. But dudes be like, I wish CGA would stick to the topics. It's my show. Like, it's my show. Like, I can talk about what I want to talk about. I don't have to talk about what you can decide not to watch. Like, that's another thing. You can decide not to watch CGA. And I wouldn't even know you weren't here. All right. Anyway, let's get into the earlier contributors to today's show. We got our brother here, no government name. He says, thanks, coach, over on the Cash App. That was yesterday. Shout out to Sean John. That was yesterday as well. Shout out to Michael Young. He says, yesterday's live was epic about religion, and that's a sponsorship. Look at that. Hey, Christians, put your money where your mouth is. Michael Young just hit us up with a sponsorship, and he said it was epic about religion. See, people want to hear about your religion. They do. They want to hear about it. They want somebody to challenge your conventional wisdom. Christians, how about you pay me to stop talking about you? That might work. All right. Maybe if you guys flooded my goddamn chats with all of your Christian shit, I would actually be able to, you'd be able to get your shit off. But you won't, because guess why? Christians are always broke. For some reason, Christians are never rich. They're always broke.
Let you get it through your thick skull that I'm broke.
Christians always don't have no money. Like, how does that work? All right. Uh-oh, look at what we have here. Okay, you can't look. All right, we got a beautiful, y'all don't come across the screen, y'all. Don't come over here. I got a beautiful fit. Chocolate caramel. What do I describe this skin? Golden bronze woman standing at my door, delivering me a nice protein shake. Because I gave her daily dose of protein. I always give you your daily dose of protein, right? That's right. She says, of course, daddy. It's get him daddy season out here. Thank you, baby. All right. So we get him daddy season. Get him daddy. Caramel kisses. You see in my way. Christians, you guys you dodged the bullet. You dodged the bullet because, she came through and saved you. But look, Michael Young with the sponsorship today. Shout out to Michael Young.
I'm Rizz, baby.
Mm-hmm. Tightly packed. Yeah, she was tightly packed. She tightly packed. Like, it's always good to have a woman like this sitting around your house, being a woman. All right, here we go. All right, being a woman. Anyway, she's going to work and probably go steal some of my money. She's going to rob my house when I'm back in here. All right. So anyway, caramel kisses. You send my way, ass nigga. He says, how long I booked her for? Well, I tell you on CoachGregAdams.locals.com. If you want to come over here with your broke ass, you would know. But again, Christians are broke and niggas are broke. You know what I mean? Like, I tell you everything. We tell you the game over on Locals. Press 1 in the chat if you're over on Locals. Man, these brothers out here, man. All right. We tell you the game over on Locals. We show you the whole game. But guess what? Broke. Niggas broke. All right. I don't hide nothing around here. All right. I hide it from YouTube brokies because, YouTube niggas are broke. And that's why you'll never have a nuclear family. You won't. That's why you niggas gonna keep losing, and you're gonna watch me keep winning. Hey, press win in the chat if you see me winning on social media. We winning. Hey, right now we're winning. All right, and the brokies are losing, and they're mad, butthurt. Men are mad and butthurt at women. All right, they're mad. This is terrible. These hoes ain't shit. Don't give them no money, CGA. Don't give them no money. All right, let's price them out. Let's make the women hurt. All right, no. All right, we not letting bitch ass niggas win. We letting these bitch ass niggas suffer. All right, I want men to suffer. We want women and men to suffer. To be honest with you, I want most people to suffer. To be honest with you, I'm an equal opportunity. I'm an equal opportunity hater. Okay, I'm an equal opportunity hater, which means in effect, I don't care if you're a woman or a man. I just want you to lose. All right. Oh, look at they mad already. Look at they mad. Why they so angry at CGA? Wow. You see them in the comments? They're so angry at me. You some bitter hurt men. All right. Shout out to you. Hey, keep watching me win. Keep watching you lose. I know y'all waiting for the day where my social media bag just falls apart and I go broke. Man, we're really triggering the Mitches. Yes, indeed. Ooh. He. Let's go. Come on, bitch niggas. Hey, man, look, I could just cover this the rest of the show, but I won't. All right. Just spilling coffee all over my shit. All right. They want me to come back to the 2018 CGA. 2018 CGA. Hey, man, you realize that's almost 10 years ago? That's almost 10 years ago. It's not going to happen, guys. You're going to be mad at me. Just be mad. Anyway, we want these bitch ass niggas mad. And today's topic is just for them. Bitch ass niggas are mad. Bitch ass niggas are angry, bitter, and hurt. Man, it's 2026. If you're creating red pill content in 2026, you're behind the schedule. I'm just letting you know. You're behind. Like, I can't respect. He says, don't direct us to do better. Yep, see? Ooh, wee. Damn. Who woke up this morning? Who woke up the Mitches this morning? Hold on for a second. Let's go ahead and where's the air horn? Wow. If you are making red pill content in 2026, you already lost. Just to let you know, you lost the what do they call it? You lost the gender war. You lost the gender war. The gender war is over. Okay. There's no gender war. It's over. It's lost. Everybody lost. Everybody lost. It's a wrap. There's nothing you can do anymore. There's nothing. Let me just say, there's nothing you can do anymore. It's over. Now, let's just say, you know what? Let me do the contributors. I'll come back to it. But there's nothing you can do. And by the way, I told you guys about what, 4 or 5 years ago, there's nothing you can do. It's over. I wrote a book about it. That there's people that haven't invested in my book. I tried to really package it up so I can explain that it's a lost cause, and people are now realizing they're trying to figure out how to correct it, but it's over. It's over. Read The Evolution. It's a wrap. I told you in my book, The Evolution, it's over, guys. Like, we're not returning back. Larry Bird is not coming through that door for what you want. There's nothing you can do. You can bring Christ the King himself, and he can't change it. It's over. Adapt or perish. Boss up or stay broke. That's where you at. Sorry. And I can't feed you guys anymore because there's nothing to feed. Everybody's done stole all my content. Right. Everybody done stole everything that I said for the past 8 years. And everybody said, Anybody that has said anything of the last 10 years has been stolen, repackaged, remixed. I see it every day on Instagram. This nigga saying the same shit we've been saying. Same shit, recycled. All right. And everybody's solution is to go backwards. Guys, we're not going backwards. It's over. Right. So we're only going forward. And I'm sad to report this to the people who were fans of me for the past 10 years that want me to still push out the same message that I pushed out in 18 to 20, trying to educate you guys to what's coming. Well, we're already here. Right. So, okay. We're already here. There's no going back. So, hey, man, buckle up, enjoy the ride, adapt or die. I'm not going to fill you guys up with reasons to hate women or hate men or hate simps. We can call out very, very aggressive simple behavior, but it's no point. You need to adapt, and we've adapted. Oh, man. The Ko-Fi link is there, Delta Fox. It's at the bottom, but I'm not sure. But if you can chance, if you're watching by TV, you can go ahead and screen shot that QR code. Anyway. Yeah, it's over, guys. If you haven't positioned yourself to do a variety of things, it's a wrap. You guys are going to have to move. Somebody says right here, I was at a men's meeting at church yesterday, and this was being discussed. He says, I was there just thinking free agent lifestyle is the only way. I've given you the solutions. Free agent lifestyle. I've given you the cheat code, de-evolution. We talk about the boss up era. We even have the JUCO as a option for you. You don't have to do the JUCO, but the JUCO is an option for men. And a lot of men have gone to JUCO. You don't have to, but it's just an option. It's just a wing. I've given you so many ways to adapt to what's coming, and guys are still mad. Sorry. Right? Can't feed you anything. Pause. Shout out to Brandon Beach. He says, man, shout out to the motherfucking coach. Just got to California for work, catching up on some editing and rewatching the PBD Belt 2. Shout out to you. Belt to ass to PBD. Pause. He says, you did the other day. He says, had you cracking up how out of touch that fool was. I thought he was about to talk about Kelly and Zach from Saved by the Bell. Send it. Over. PBD. Over, guys. There's nothing y'all can do about it. And you can talk about it till you blue in the face. I mean, a lot of guys want to talk about it. And there's some angry podcasters. They're debating women still. All right. I'm like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. They want to do. They haven't, especially black men. Okay. Especially black men. Y'all debating black women. It's, bruh, I don't even know what to tell you. Black women are free. I mean, when I say free, they have their freedom papers. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They don't have to be with you broke niggas no more. They don't have to settle for you. And getting them to settle for you is a lost cause. All right. But people like to make content and rage content, and, you know, people call it grifting. They call what I'm doing grifting. I'm like, no, if you're making red pill content, strictly red pill content, to have conversations about dating and relationships for men to try to correct it so it favors men, that's grifting, because it's over. Right? It's over. Anyway, shout out to our brother Rockman Ingram is in the building over on the Ko-Fi. Shout out to you. We have our brother Blue Bag and says Fox Snooze said 40% of Americans go on date for free food. He says they should just say 80% of women, but not on me. He says, Coach, take this rice money. Shout out to you. You don't want to take them out on a date for food? Hoes got to eat too. Hoes got to eat too. Shout out to No Government Name says, see, God Allah gave the NPC a masterclass on why society's number one threat is a free man with a free thinking mind. I remember as a kid forced to go into church thinking why adults believe something they can't prove to me, yet get offended when I ask questions and for proof. Yeah, you will piss them off. They will go crazy after a second. Because you're going to ask rational questions. You're not even trying to trigger them. You'll just go back and ask 5 rational questions. And by then, they'll give up. They'll go crazy. Now, the Jehovah's Witnesses, they'll stay there. All right. Never try to debate a Jehovah's Witness. All right, they are trained. They have a high level training system. So they're trained. Christians typically aren't trained, but the Jehovah Witness, they'll buckle up. They'll like take a seat. All right, I'll be here all day. And he says, as someone who has worked and lived in multiple countries, Christians were the biggest Karens and pieces of shit I've met, men and women. He says, Coach hit the bullseye. Religion is a sword for losers to feel superior without improving their life at all. All right, they won't improve their life. They'll just swing the sword of threats in, scriptures that you don't believe in. Like why? Right now, listen, in a lesser time where people didn't know and we were completely ignorant, well, it worked. All right, but now nobody's going for the bullshit. And I'm like, all right, that shit don't work no more. And by the way, more people have paid and supported in relationship to the message than have, for the people who are opposed to the message. You haven't sent me any money, but I'm pretty sure you won't. You're going to give it to your church pastor who's going to spend it on hookers and prostitutes. All right, but that's neither here nor there. Oh, Henji says still on the replays, but when it comes to tattoos in 2026, nothing says normie like being tatted. He says it used to be a sign of rebellion, but now everybody has tats. Unless it's part of your heritage, it shows that you're a follower and not an independent thinker. And I'm just telling you, today tattoos aren't what it used to be. Okay, tattoos were either a sign that you were in the military or you're out of the military, you're a rebel or something like that. And then overwhelmingly men had tattoos. Women have taken over tattoos. More Gen Z women have tattoos more than Gen Z men. And now you can get your whole body tatted up. All right, you can go under anesthesia and get your whole body tattooed at once. Like now it's like, it's not even a thing that makes you stick out. It used to be, but not. But I don't know if you guys know, women love dudes with tattoos. But yeah, tattoos now is not like, oh, wow, you got a tattoo. Wow. All right, it's like, oh, tattoo. People don't even notice them anymore. Like, I wouldn't even notice a woman that has a tattoo until I really just hone down and say, oh, her whole arm is tatted up. All right, but yeah, it's not what it used to be. But look, I'm not shitting on tattoos, but look, I'm just saying, like, don't get one and think you really just did something there. And I would always encourage people, really think about what you're going to do on your body and doodle on your body when you're young. Really think about this. Don't go out and get a tattoo just because when you're young. I know you think you're going to be young forever, but my main problem is it really puts you in a different category as you try to elevate up in society. And I know people say they don't regret it, but it is going to be something that you're going to have to think about further down the line as you start elevating up into maturity and a emerging young adult. Because now the things that you wear and then how you look in certain elements and eras of your society, it's going to be one of those things that is going to mess you up. So be careful with your decision making. Like, really think that shit out. I remember when I wanted a tattoo, like, I only thought about getting one tattoo when I was younger. All right, when I was a kid. Story time. All right, CGA story time. Hopefully this helps you. Because at the time I was playing basketball and I'm a shorter guy, as a short guy, I wanted a tattoo of, I remember, what was the name? Damon Stoudemire had the same tattoo that I wanted. And it was a Mighty Mouse tattoo with a basketball. Like, that's what I would have put on my shoulder. I'm pretty sure I would have regretted that. I'm pretty sure that I would have be looking at this shit and things that I wear as a 50-year-old man with a tattoo of Mighty Mouse holding a basketball, like looking like this and shit. Like, yeah, Here I come to save the day. I'm pretty sure at 30, 40, and 50, I would have been like, damn, now I got to explain this Mighty Mouse tattoo on my fucking arm. All right. Nigga, why you got a basketball Mighty Mouse on your shoulder at 50? Like, what? What, nigga, what? Oh, well, yeah, because I used to play basketball, whether you believe that shit or not. All right, but anyway. Anyway, shout out to KP, says, Guru, this is $100 Canadian. So we're going to give you a KP. That is a sponsorship. Thanks for letting me know, sir. I'm Rizz. KP says, I can never bring myself to bang ugly women, regardless of my sexlessness. Is sex worth compromising your standards? What advice do you give to Brooklyn to boss up in his engineering pursuit? Almost graduating now. Shout out to you. And my advice always to my son is really consider what major you're going to pick, because it will affect the rest of your life. I do have a video of a woman saying this. It's going to affect the next 10, 15 years of your employment, because what will happen is you'll leverage that degree for the next 10, 15, or 20 years. And whatever you picked, and whatever you pick is going to be what you leverage it, and the results are going to be, it's going to speak for themselves. So if that's what you plan to do, is get your degree and leverage it for the next 20 years of your employment, maybe 30 years, you better pick the right one. You pick the wrong one and you're going to be up shit's creek. Anyway, let's get on with today's show. We got Straggle and Sniggle Theater as a time to give 15 minutes of breath to the normies. All right, here we go. Straggle and Sniggle Theater.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Straggle and Sniggle Theater, let's go. Straggle and Sniggle Theater, we have a woman. Oh, wow. Okay, hey, ladies, we got a lady that has this particular message. She looks like a single mama, or possibly a married mother of two. I'm not sure, but this is what she says here, and I can't play the video, but shout out to Mrs. Martinez. All right, and there you go. You see all the tattoos on her, or you see what time it is, but she's in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. Shout out to the ladies in the kitchen cooking and cleaning. All right, but what does she say on her caption right here? What does she say right here? It says, kids these days be 19 and depressed, but when I was 19, I was a hoe. And no surprise, Latina, all right, tattoos. She was with the Vato Locos, the essays, all right, and all of that. Everybody from the Treses, the Norenas, all right, the Sorenas, the Nortes, and the MS-13s. Selling and moving dope and drugs for them. Yes. Dude, a lot of attractive women be out here moving dope. Y'all don't even know what time it is out here. They be out here ecclesiastically in these streets. They come from the streets. And so there she is right there. And you know what? I'm going to say this, man. Men and women were built different in the past. We actually wanted to grow up and mature. But I noticed that young people today don't want to grow up and mature. They think they got years, you know what I mean? They got years ahead of them. And I'm like, bro, kids, young people, you don't have a lot of years ahead of you. So I don't know what you're doing waiting until your brainstem develops. You need to get going. All right. All right. You don't have a lot of years ahead of you. And pretty much once you hit 40, shit about to slow down. Life is about to slow down. And I know people were like, no, I see people living outside. When you see me living outside, when you see me on the internet, that's like a compilation of highlights. A lot of my time is spent warming my body up to move. All right. I'll be like, oh my God. All right. I got to slow down, sit in the chair a little bit. All right. I got to put my heat blanket on over my back. All right. I got the little leg compressors over there. All right. I'm doing my workout. I got to lay out. That's what it is. Like, age catches up to you. Your body slows down. Now, there's some people that do phenomenal things at an advanced age, but your body's still going to slow down. After 40, the things that you would do in your 20s and recover from after 40, I don't care who you are, it takes time to recover. So I'm always trying to tell people, what are you waiting for? Y'all waiting for 30 to 40 to hit and then start life? Nope. No, I'm telling you, man, your body slows down. Your body loses capability to recover as fast. Even if you're physically fit, your body, sleeping becomes an issue. Sleeping comfortably becomes an issue. But you're just going to slow down. And I'll just use that as an encouragement. Same thing with sex and all of that. And not only that, staying up late. Staying up late is one of those things that old people just can't do when you get older. Okay. Staying up late, especially multiple times in a week, you'll be sleeping through all Sunday. It'll take you Sunday and Monday to recover. So it is one of those things that's going to happen. Anyway, shout out to her for revealing the truth out here that she was a hoe. All right. And I always tell you, your mama was a hoe. Remember I tell you that? Your mama was a hoe at one particular point. She was a hoe ass woman. And people thought that was some sort of hate. All right. But that's not hate. She said it. When I was 19, I was a hoe. All right, there it is. Shout out to these hoes out here, man. Hey, we don't dislike hoes. All right, bitch ass niggas dislike hoes. Speaking of, we have a young woman that is going through her postgraduate introduction into life. All right. Postgraduate introduction into life. And so here's right here. Post-graduation blues. The salaries are not matching the effort that I put in. Okay. Sometimes people catch up slow. Let's hear what she has to say.
Yeah, I just had to come on here and vent and just tell you guys, like, I am so happy that I graduated with my master's and I'm very proud of myself. And I know it's a huge accomplishment. I know, like, a lot of people are like, oh my God, like, you know, like, revel in this and just like take it in. But the truth is, I'm sitting with the reality of like the fact that the career I'm in, when you get licensed, right, it's an LAC license. When you're a counselor, you get an LAC license for 3 years, mandatory 3 years. So it's like a provisional license that you have to work under another therapist, right? And majority of the jobs that I'm seeing for LAC are between like 55 and like 70, but like barely seeing 70. That it's like a rarity that I'm seeing 70. And to know that, like, not only I have a bachelor's, but I also like have a fucking master's, and like just thinking about all the loans and just thinking about bills and inflation and the economy.
I mean, brothers, hey, look, this is why I told you it's a wrap. Okay, because now what she's understanding, I wrote this in The Evolution. I said, since women are going to do this overwhelmingly, specifically Black women, all right, they're going to do that. They're going to go to school. They're going to get a degree. They're going to get out in the job marketplace. They're going to go back to school, get another degree. This is how they see life. This is what they value. This is what they trumpet, and I cannot stop it. You can't stop it either. No matter how much you say, well, men don't care about degrees, it doesn't matter. So they're going to take this route. This is a route that's going to lead them to disaster. So I'm just going to stay out of the way. The best thing I can tell you is do not marry a woman that is in this situation, because you're going to pay for it in one way or another. You're going to pay for it, meaning that let's say you don't pay it financially, but if you don't pay it financially, this is going to be her main distraction in life. She's going to be distracted by this for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, but she'll still tell you she has a degree, but she'll be severely distracted, which means you're not getting a nuclear family. You're not getting more than a kid or two. All right. And she's going to be focused on this. This is going to be her main burden. I wrote about this in The Evolution. So since this is the case, they don't know that they're going to be pigeonholed in these bad jobs, and they're going to be affected by the economy immediately, because they got to have that student loan payment of $800 a month, and they got to do that for 20 or 30 years. It's just going to be, you want to stay away. That's the advice I give you, not to be mad at them and angry and tell them not to do it. A lot of guys will be like, tell them not to do it, coach. No, you can't. It's over. It's over. What you can do is just stay clear away from the commitment to these women. Now, let me just break this down, what she's talking about here. You hear the chirping. You also see her going into a career field that is oversaturated, women in psychology. She chose to do that route because a lot of women that are traumatized early in their lives, they seem to find this is a very valuable tool, and to go get certifications and degrees and master's degrees in this. And they were told that this is going to be a field that is going to, be around for the next 20 years. And so they went into it. Hey, I'm interested in it, and it's going to be a field that's going to be around, but it's oversaturated, which means, in effect, a lot of people who are going to make certain dollars amount, you're not going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, all right, as time goes on. But that is too late for her. Now, I talked about this. Pick a major that you want to pick, not just what feels good. Pick a major that's going to make money, which is going to be in the STEM related areas. And don't think that you're going to use your degree for the next 30 years. So now she's entering into a world of misunderstanding. Do you guys know a lot of lawyers don't make a lot of money coming out of law school? Now, the difference between degrees is this. And if you're listening to me as a young person going to college or after college, or you want thorough understanding, what happens with your degree is when you initially come out, there are people that will make some money with extremely high offerings coming out of school, but a lot of lawyers don't make a lot of money initially. Now, the difference is what happens in the next 10 years. Lawyers that are, let's say they're well positioned, they actually can negotiate and become partners in firms and all of that stuff. And then the next 10 years, they're going to make a lot more money than a certain degree like psychology is going to make in the next 10 years. Okay. So, but everybody starts out low. Everybody, all these degrees that soon as you graduate, you start off low. You're going to start off with 50, 60 grand. Okay. And you're like, where's the big money? Well, the big money comes later when you're 30, 35, 45, and 50. Depends on your degree field. If you pick a bad degree, you're going to be stuck for the next 20 years at that 50, 60, 70. But you always have to enter into it at a low rate. So that's what I don't know if the guidance counselors tell people about that, or people don't do a thorough enough research. They think they're going to jump out here and make six figures as soon as they graduate with a little certification and a license. It's going to take a long time. And I want people to know that going in, but unfortunately they won't understand it. You always have to go ahead and what they call pay your dues. But we live in a culture that thinks paying your dues is outdated. Okay, well, all right. Especially when it comes to education, it's outdated, paying your dues. I mean, I'm sorry, it's outdated mindset. It's a proper mindset when you're coming out of school. Now, if you do something extraordinary and get into something where you invest money in, you don't just settle for that degree leading you to a six-figure income, well, then it's not outdated, because you can jump out here with no degree and get into AI or social media. All right, or investing. All right, you can hustle and grift and you'll make the money on the side. All right, but all right, that's what you guys are up against. That's what you guys are up against. But you mad. Now we got some broke niggas in here. We got some broke niggas in here having a conversation about money and dating. Money and dating. And this is an interesting one, which means in effect, I've been trying to tell you, man, the bar is in hell. There's no better time than to leave the broke nigga community. When I say broke niggas, I'm not just talking about black people. Right? There's a lot of poverty mindset men who are lonely who think, hey, well, sex should be offered for free. And so listen to this one here called The Seafood Economy. Is Benihana's worth it? Let's play the video here.
Right?
Benihana's is damn near 100 for two people.
Definitely.
That's cheap.
If you-
$100 for two people?
It's usually 50 a million.
And this is probably
I'm saying, like, when I go out to eat, I spend money. So I feel like for two people, $100.
If you spend $100 at Texas Roadhouse, you have 8 things on the
Texas
menu.
Roadhouse is fucking crazy.
We need to have economics 101 on this one.
No, food is more than Benihana's, right?
Benihana's is damn near 100.
okay. So there's the conversation. Please understand, if you agree with that, guys, you're fucking, I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, right. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I don't understand what he's talking about. The bar is in hell, my niggas. Like, I know y'all, like, I don't know what you've been doing the last 30 years. Like, I'm a grown ass man, right? Let's take dating out of it. Let's take dating out of it. Because that's where y'all get emotional about it. $100 to eat. You take multiple people to eat. Because I've had kids and shit, right? I've had kids. I've had a family. I've had a wife. I understand what it takes to feed multiple people. When you add multiple people to your life, the bill skyrockets. I don't know if you guys talking about, like, I don't know if you guys know that the bill goes up crazy fast, like boom, like overnight. If you're talking about $50 per person to eat, all right. Let's say you took two. Let's just take the women out. You went to eat with you and your friend, and you thought you was gonna get out of there for less than 100. I'm not talking about penny pitching eating. I'm talking about you guys went to go chill, had a couple of drinks, and you had a food, an entree, and a couple of appetizers. Just two people. 100? You ain't getting out of there out of $100. You're not getting out of there with, under 100. Texas, even Texas Roadhouse. Let's just say you weren't looking at the bill and you were like, I'll have another. You ain't getting out of there under 100. Just let you know. You're not getting out of there. That's why I don't understand what men are talking about. Like, the bar is in hell. You wanted to take a girl on a date and you're trying to get out of there under $100. Smack your motherfucking self. Smack yourself. I don't want to hear shit about whatever your philosophy is. Under 100. Dude, I can't get out of fucking Popeye's chicken without $50 being fucking spent. But these guys are trying to go, I'm taking a bitch to Texas Roadhouse so I can get out of there under 100. Wow. Look, lunch is under 100. You could go to lunch and get out of there under 100. You could go to a brunch and maybe get out of there under 100. Okay, but by the time you didn't hit 2 or 3 mimosas, yeah, you cook. Certainly in a major metropolitan dating area, you live in a metro area and you go to somewhere. Okay, how many times you going to Texas Roadhouse? You're going to take her there once. I have girls I take to Texas Roadhouse. And I don't even like Texas Roadhouse. That's just too beneath me. I'm going to just let you know. But I've had a girl that she didn't need fine dining. It still was going to be over 100. It was still going to be over 100. So this is what I don't get about the modern male today. Like, what in the hell are y'all talking about? $50, nigga? What kind of per diem is this?
Food is more than Benihana's, right?
Benihana's is damn near 100 for 2 people.
Definitely.
That's cheap.
If you said that's cheap, that's cheap. Now, the men are going to say, well, she ain't paying for it. Okay. But just so you guys know, if me and my son go eat, it's going to be over $100. And we not even trying to do extra. That's one appetizer, entree. The only way you're going to maybe defeat this is maybe if you split the main entree, right? Like if you get the steak, let's say you got a ribeye. The ribeye is going to be between 65 and 85. I mean, you already over 100 already. But let's say my son and I split a ribeye, which I can't do because he can eat the whole ribeye by himself in 5 minutes. So there's no point in splitting the ribeye. When me and my son go out, that's the only way. I would split the entree and maybe have one appetizer and no drinks. That's the only way possible, bro. I don't know what these guys are talking. Like, where do y'all niggas live and where do you want to keep the bar? Okay. Where do you want to keep the bar? I don't care where you're going. It's going to be over 100. Somebody says Taco El Gordo. That's the only thing, bro. That's the only thing. And I'm going to just tell you, you keep doing that, she gone. We taking her. We taking her. But guys, you guys need to figure out real quick. These niggas have not graduated. And I get it. If you're young, you can't afford that. Well, just understand that as you age, it's going to get more expensive. You're going to get more expensive. Life is going to get more expensive. But I guarantee you, they spend more than $100 on weed that much and more than $100 on video games. Okay. That's where we are in this world today. And if you want to have a family, here's another one where you need to wake up, because guys will be like, these women don't want to be wives. They don't want to have a family. They don't want to submit. Okay. If you get a woman that submits, you can guarantee it's going to be over $100 when you take her and your motherfucking kids out to dinner. I don't care if you go to Taco El Gordo. It's going to be damn near $100. 100%. Golly. Anyway, that's what your competition is out here, man. You have a lot of broke nigga spirit out here that just ain't ready to adapt to life. Now, if you live in San Antonio, maybe, but brother, good luck out here. There's some loser ass niggas out here, and they going to continue to lose.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like 550 on the 5 sticky, come get high with me, that's a deal, right?
Oh, no commercial? All right, okay. Somebody said that was an NBA basketball player. All right. I don't think he's the one talking, though. By the way, shout out to Benihana. Well, Benihana's not much of a thrill to me anymore, but, you know, if you've never been to Benihana, I would suggest that you go. All right, and get a little experience. Get the onion ring volcano. Have the Asian guy chopping shit up and flipping pieces of chicken into his hat. It's a great experience. All right, anyway, wowzers. Let's get to some support. This is the boss up era. We're in our boss up era. Shout out to our brother. It is Wayne Peter says yesterday's Christian roast. LOL. Shout out to the Christian roast. Look at all these people that love the Christians getting roasted. Shout out to Gerald Hill says, stay on the Christians. I'll keep paying. Let's go. That's a sponsorship. Wow. Look at all these people, man, that want the truth about these Christians. I'm rich, bitch. Right, and the Christians always trying to intimidate. Don't mess with the Christians. You're going to be burning in hell. You're going to get your comeuppance. All right, nothing but veiled threats. All right, just because they can't argue. Now they mad. But look at a lot of people that want to hear this because they're going through the same thing. All right. I have my lane on my own. Shout out to the Christians. All right. We're different, though, coach. Those are the other Christians. Oh, man. Shout out to, dude, we've made money just roasting the fucking Christians. All right. Anyway, shout out to Stiliano says, CGA, take my shillings. Appreciate the Mitch slamming and the slapping. Shout out to you. Thank you, Stiliano. Christians, you can support too. You can pay me to stop roasting you. All right. Somebody give me $1,000 and say, don't roast the Christians anymore. All right. Okay. I won't do it today. All right. Come Monday, I'll be back roasting the Christians. All right. There we go. Shout out to you. All right. They act like they off limits. You can't talk about us. They be talking about Jews all day long. These niggas have the talk. Somebody says, or pray on it. Yeah, pray to God that I stop talking about you. All right, these niggas be praying for my death. All right, but these Christians be talking about Jews all day on the internet. All day. Y'all got the nerve to talk about Jews all day on the internet. You could go attack them and talk about them and roast them. Then as soon as they start talking about you, you act like you off limits. Like where? And by the way, I wasn't even roasting them. I just told them the truth about themselves. Like I wasn't degrading them. I just described them. I wasn't degrading them. I didn't say hate them. I didn't say death to all Christians. I didn't say that. I just said, well, you're following a fairy tale. But pray for me. Brayon says, Coach, seeing you have a beautiful butter pecan Puerto Rican Juco, bringing you a smoothie while streaming was great motivation. Boss up 2026. That's yes, indeed.
Boss up, nigga.
We're going to that era, guys. All right. We're transforming the whole Hollywood to Hollywood CGA. By the way, if you want to have the old 2018, 2019 videos for $100 a month, I will provide you a link to all my old podcasts. All right, my old live streams. If you somehow need to re-educate yourself and find a way for me to hold on, you're going to see how, when you see the old stuff, you're going to see how many people stole from me. All right, because I was talking this shit like and putting up the evidence, the statistics, the moon stars, the quasars. But for $100 a month, you can go see my old shit. But I'm not doing that old shit all day anymore. All right, so I've actually told you that. But if you guys want to, that I can actually give you a list of red pill incel podcasters that had their first relationship at age 35. Or red pill incel podcasters that use cartoon characters to hide behind that you never see their face. Yes, I'm attacking you guys too. Or red pill incel podcasters that keep telling you to go your own way, but they live with they live with women. They'll never tell you that. They've been in a relationship since 2020. They've lived with a woman since 2020, and they be making videos in their car talking shit, and then they go back inside with their girlfriend. I can give you a list of those guys that make you feel good about being an incel, being a bitch ass nigga. And they sit up there and talk that shit and go back home and they lay in the bed, cuddle up with their girlfriend. Or I can tell you an incel red pill podcaster that married not one, but two single mothers. Not one, but two single mothers. Not one, but two, married them. I can show you a red pill incel podcaster that keeps feeding you rage bait, but they're married the entire time. They're married the entire time. They've been married the whole time, feeding you red pills. Hey, where y'all at, bro? I'm telling you, you're looking at the one and only. You missed it. I'm not going to keep defending you bitch ass niggas and trying to hold the line for bitch ass niggas. Oh, man. I'm telling you, there's not many people left. There's not many people that are living the life that they're telling you. I'm one of the only one that is living the life. You're seeing it. I'm the only, not many real ones out here. I can show you a red pill incel podcaster that freed you rage bait about not marrying single mothers, being recreational use only, and married to a single mother, raising that woman's kids. Shall we continue? And by the way, by the time I show you all of these, there's not going to be many incel red pill podcasters left. There's nobody there's nobody from you to pick from. So once you put 2 and 2 together, I don't know what to tell you. All I tell you to do is follow your path, free agent lifestyle, realize where the line is. It's gone. The bar is in hell. You can go to the JUCO if you need to and get some relief. If you don't want to do that, you better figure out how to go over to another country. But they hoes over there too. Just so you know, by the time you go over to another country, I've been done fucked all them women. All right, because they fuckable. They easily fuckable. They're fuckable for cheap. And if you think you're going to get a wife over there, well, you're sadly mistaken. And if you think you're going to get a wife for free over there, you're really sadly mistaken. You're going to support that woman and her sick buffalo, and you're going to pay for her nursing school, and you're going to move in her motherfucking family at some point. So I'm just letting you know, I'm the only one telling you the real. And that woman was selling pussy at a bar when she was 19 or 16 and 15. 15 in Vietnam. Woo! She was selling pussy at the bar at 15 in Vietnam, and you ain't gonna know shit about it. She gonna still have sugar daddy sending her money over from overseas via Western Union, and you're gonna be living with her. Yeah. And when you go back home to visit your sick ass mama, he gonna fly in and fuck the shit out of her. But at least it'll be cheaper. It'll be cheaper than doing it here in America, because in America it's very expensive to do so. All right, so shout out to our brother here. It is Mr. Let Go. And I believe that's our brother, Mr. Let Go. Shout out to you, man. Good to see you. He says it's over for these red pill cornballs. He says we got to put together a get out of the red pill seminar, bro. Shout out to you. What we got to show the red pill, because the red pill is not perfect, just like Christianity. Like, what dudes have to do is understand that at a certain point, you need to evolve and still adapt. You can't stay stuck. And it never has been my story to stay stuck. If you read the Free Agent Lifestyle, you have to elevate and constantly elevate yourself out of a position of leverage and options. But a lot of guys get stuck thinking that you're the majority or you're going to make an impact in terms of what's going on. We do make an impact on how people think about relationships, but at the same time, dudes don't want to elevate, which is weird. Like, this guy was like, just don't tell us to do better. In life, you have to do better. Sorry. You constantly have to do better in life, because life catches up with you fast. This is a man that has lived 50 years. I survived. By the way, as a black man surviving at 50, healthy, not overweight, not having glaucoma or diabetes, okay? All I don't have is the front of my hair. That's all I don't got, is the front hairline. But other than that, if you stay stagnant and complacent, you're going to get your ass whooped out here. And what people will do is they'll say, yep, I haven't gone to jail. I haven't been to prison. I don't have kids outside of marriage. I don't have ugly tattoos over my body that I regret. Okay. I haven't been part of the system. I made it out. And I actually am a minority, but a growing minority. A lot of men are taking this and taking their life seriously. But if you think you're going to get out of here and stay stagnant, you're going to get your ass kicked out here as a man. So as a man, you should always do better. But telling men to minimalize, nigga, you're going to regret that shit. Okay. You're going to be sitting in a room with one table and one chair. That's what you're going to do. You're going to be sitting in a room with one table and one chair. Now, you'll be able to afford it, but you're going to be sitting in a 400 square foot apartment and you're 37 to 40. Like, what the fuck? You ain't supposed to do that shit, bro. Like, that's why I can't live in Asia for too long. They live in too many fucking small apartments. I'm like, Shout out to Tranisha. I live deep in the Bible Belt, and all of that Christian talk goes out of the window when the men get to talking about sucking and fucking. I personally think it's wrong for a Christian male to pursue women with no strings attached sex, but that's useless to tell them that. That's the hypocrisy of a lot of guys. They'll throw Bible verses around, but still be out here ho hopping. Like, come on, bro. Like, I ho hop, all right, but I don't throw the Bible verses away. Like, I don't throw Bible verses at you while ho hopping. I just be ho hopping. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what they for. That's what hoes are for. Shout out to Delta Fox. I took a female friend out with my sister and niece, and my sister asked me to bring her home to Puerto Rico. I told my friend that I only travel with JUCOs. She said, I'll get on your program. She has a boyfriend as well, but is bisexual. Do you have the stomach?
Do you have the stomach?
There's no loyalty out here, guys. There's no loyalty. You can't just get people to be loyal to you just for the shit. Just for the shit of it. So she got here, want to go, and she got a boyfriend, but she a lily lint licker. All right. And she want to go. Like, women want to go see shit. They want to do shit. Now, that doesn't mean you have to do it for them, but just so you know, let's say you get a woman, she gonna want to do shit. All right. That's my point. Because dudes will be like, well, we shouldn't have to take her. I didn't say you have to take her. What I'm telling you is, let's say you get a girlfriend that you think doesn't want that. You're gonna lose your girl. So you can't win in this situation. Either way, you fucked. Because women want to do shit. And they'll go with whoever sponsoring. So good luck. Shout out to the Paradox. Just sent an email. Just wanted to say thank you for all that you do and see what's up for the weekend. And shout out to you right here. I'm going to have a slow weekend.
What's up, nigga? What's up for the weekend, nigga?
My guest is going to be leaving. So I'm going to have a good weekend to catch up on some things. And you're going to see a lot of social media posts from the shit that we did, but I'll get up with that email. I think I replied to you. Maybe it was someone else, but shout out to you, brother. I appreciate that. That is a sponsorship from the Paradox. I'm Rizz, bitch. Shout out to you and for Fakari. He says you can't win unless you boss up. It's true. I work in litigation. These attorneys come out of law school with big debt, earning on average 70 to 80K at best. He says, if you are at the top of the class and you get into a big corporate firm, maybe you can get low six figures, boss up. So I've actually remembered this. So as a law school, by the way, out of law school, you can probably bet that unless you were on scholarship, you might come out with $250,000 in student loan or in loans to pay for your law school. I would venture to say, and somebody can help me out here because I don't have the accurate information, but let's just say you didn't pay any dollars towards your law school. You went to 3 years of law school or 4 years at night law school like that. Well, anyway, you're going to be down $250,000. That's $250,000. Your first job is going to be in that 70 to 80K range, and you might be at that range for about 2 years. You can bet you're going to be at that range for about 2 years. If that's the case, you're not even surviving. You're not even surviving. You're in trouble. I knew a woman that had an MBA and a law degree, and she had a roommate all the way up until age 28. That was the girl that I ended up knowing. If you watch my show on the Ask Coach Greg Adams channel, that was a woman that ended up being like a sugar baby. All right. But yeah, you're going to be struggling. She wasn't able to, even with her law degree. Now, she was actually projecting that in 5 years, she'd be making $500,000. All right. I don't know if that ever became true, but in her mind, she was looking at as fast as she can ascend and use what she use her degree, she would be able to make between $300,000 and $500,000 a year. Now, I don't know if she ever did that, but I know she moved around to a couple of firms. And I hope that she did. I don't hope that she didn't. What I'm telling you is they can move up fast, very relatively quick. And that's the advantage of having the degree. Similar to doctors as well. They come out of, residence. They're not going to make a lot of money initially. Then they may never make a lot of money if they keep working for certain hospitals. But if they set up a private practice, they set up a doctor's office, a doctor's satellite office, that's when their money goes crazy, right? Same as a veterinarian. A veterinarian can make a lot of money, but they normally have to set up 5 veterinarian offices to make millions. And that requires a lot of management, a lot of hiring. Certainly when you get into this, it's going to have a lot of frustration. But I know a veterinarian that became a multimillionaire, but he owned like 5 veterinarian hospitals in Orange County. All right. So that's where he made the millions. You're not going to make millions working at the fucking county hospital. Okay. You're not going to make millions. They're not just going to write you $1 million check. Now, anesthesia, you're going to get a lot of money, but you're going to be bouncing around all night. Shout out to my anesthesiologists, I should say. Yeah, somebody said, so he's a business owner. Yep. So he's not a veterinarian. He is by certification, by degree, but he's a business owner. And he owns the business of veterinarianism. He's not a veterinarian that makes that much money. He owns businesses that are veterinarian oriented, and that's where he's a millionaire. So you got to think about that. The degree ain't going to save you. And as a person with more degrees than a thermometer, it's true. The degree itself is not going to make you rich. It could keep you from being broke. It could, but not always. Not always. And shout out to our brother. We got a couple more. Says Dr. Phil says, or D Phil, appreciate you, coach. Don't want to name drop, but I find it funny how a red pillar recently dropped a video saying all men pay. I wonder where he got that from. Interesting. I don't want to name drop either, but I'm interested to really know who it is. Don't put his name in the chat. Like I said, in 3 to 5 years, all people will sound like CGA. People are going to realize that I have a pulse on the society. I know where this is going. And if you're a red pill rager, I'm just telling you, you're not going to win. The only thing you're going to win is you. But constantly staying angry and hoping things change and telling women that they fucked up, it's pointless. Don't get angry at it. But you can develop a way to manipulate it or leverage it. KD is the name. I started in education making $55K. Now I'm an administrator making $120K. Men figure out that in order to make money in education, you have to transition out of the classroom, move into leadership and counseling, etc. Classroom teachers are still 97% of women making under $60,000. I remember when I wanted to be a teacher, because I was coming out of college, and I think maybe I could be a teacher and a coach. That's what I wanted to be. But I remember they had a salary scale. They call it a schedule. You can go to any school district, probably a website, and pull down the teacher's schedule of salary. It is one of the most mind-opening, mind-boggling things you ever will see. Okay, because you're looking at this shit after all your teaching credentials, after all your degreeing, after all your student loans, and your continuing education. Because you have to continue educating after you get into the classroom. And they'll show you that with continuing education, which means you're teaching and going back to school. So the school never ends. Even when you complete the school and the credential, you have to get more units. As you get more units down the line, the salary goes up. But we're talking about 10 or 12 to 14 years down the line. The teacher's schedule is one of the worst advances in economics I can ever think of, because it only helps supplement income to a household that has a stable income. So it's a great job for a woman who has a husband that is a prime earner. But if she doesn't have a husband that's a prime earner, and she doesn't continue, like he said, get their certification in counseling, get a master's degree, going to be an administrator or a principal, you're going to be broke as a joke 15 to 20 years down the line. You're going to be fucking broke. Okay. That's it. You're going to be broke. You're going to be driving a scooter to work to save money. So I saw that and I was like, I can't be in that field, because it was like in 15 to 18 years, you can make 100K, 90K, 80K in 15. Shit. Not I. All right. 15 years to get to 80K. And that's plus 60 credit hours or a master's degree. I got to get a master's degree while teaching to make 85K. Oh, hell no. So you're going to have to elevate up in the counseling, leadership, administration to make that money. Now, as administrators, you can make 200 grand. You can make 200 grand as an administrator, but that means you got to be the assistant principal, the principal, or some shit like that, which means you got to write motherfuckers up and give them demerits. And now you got to handle kids and discipline, or you got to be the athletic director and shit like this. Whew. All right. Anyway, teaching is a great supplemental career. It's not a great career for people who want to be prime earners and live by their motherfucker self. It's just, anyway, let's get into it. By the way, I actually had a situationship with the Catholic school principal. Trust me, she was not killing it. Right? She was not making money. She was the principal and living in a shabby ass apartment, trying to get married, which she eventually did because I was beating the brains out. I was beating the stuffing out of her, and she was trying to get me to be married, but she ended up marrying a bozo. And then she ended up texting me last year after I haven't seen her in damn near 10 years or 8 to 10 years. She ended up texting me talking about hey, you still living the free agent lifestyle? I was like, she ended up texting me. And then I was like, yeah, didn't you get married? I looked her up. She was married and all that. And she was like, I was just seeing if she was just in a moment. She was in a moment of remembering how I used to dickmatize her and lay that dick. And I looked at the husband. He was a fat goofball. And she was reaching out to see if I was still living the free agent lifestyle so she can get in there. Then she told me she gained weight. She was like, I gained like 80 pounds. And I was like, guys, people make their own bed. I was like, bitch. She was like, would you still be with me if I gain weight? I was like, send me a picture. That was the last thing I heard. But guys, your husband, these women gonna reach out to their last couple of guys. After, give it some time. They're gonna reach out. They're always hunting. They're always hunting for the next best deal. They're always branching and monkey branching. They're always trying to reach back. They're always trying to go forward. They're always trying to find somebody bigger, better, stronger, faster. Okay. So don't think well, I'm safe, coach. Nah. Anyway, good luck. Sad indeed. And also she probably saw, because I think she follows me on Instagram. So she saw what I was doing. She was like, damn, this nigga came up. All that shit that he said he was going to do, he did it. Let me check in. By the way, she was a good lady too, man. She was good, nasty in bed. And you would never know it because she looked nerdy as hell. She's a nerdy Catholic school principal. Her husband probably watching me like, hold the fuck up. But she was a nerdy, plain Jane Catholic school principal. Nice girl. She nice, feminine. She had a very light voice. Even when she raised her voice, it was like, she could never raise it as high as hell. But she was a nasty. Ooh, I would like to get her in bed. She was nasty. There was no limits. She had no limits, y'all. Hey, sisters, when y'all tell these brothers what you ain't going to do in bed, trust me, I can find a white woman that's going to do it. And she going to do it well. She going to do it with her whole face. And men, if you ever get with a woman that tells you like you love her and you want to marry her and she tells you, well, there's some things I won't do in bed. Don't marry that broad. Just to let you know, you're going to be frustrated. Don't marry her. You don't have to put up with that shit. If you want to put it up her Duke shoot and she says no, go find a woman that at least find a hooker or find some girl on the side that you're going to want to do it, because you ain't going to last 30 years without wanting to have that desire to put it up her Duke shoot. All right. So don't marry a woman that has limitations in bed. She'll be like, I only will suck it off like maybe 2 times a week. That's going to be less than 1. So don't marry her. That means she's going to not suck you off. Okay. Just keep it moving, because that desire, you're never going to get that desire out of your system. So just find another broad. That's my advice to you. Don't say I didn't help you, bitch ass niggas. All right. Because come on. Or she better be good bringing you a woman that want to get it ran up her Duke shoot. That's what you tell her. All right, well, you won't do it. You better bring me a woman that will do it, because I don't want to do it. Anyway. Where we at? Somebody said, I don't have that desire. It don't matter what desire it is. Say you just want to be sucked off. And she says, well, I really don't. Don't marry her. Don't marry her, bruh. Keep it moving. She's a nice woman. She will make a great mother to your kids. Or you mean to explain to her, well, you're going to find somebody. You don't mind if I find somebody that's going to do that shit for us? Because we can still have a family and shit. But I'm going to need to be sucked off and somebody swallowing my kids. Well, I don't think that. That's nasty. Okay, well. Okay, well. I'm gonna get it done. All right, we got what do we got here? I'm advancing the ball down the career, matriculating the ball downfield. What do we got here? I guess we can call this. Can I call it Rate Their Rizz? Another people stole my Rate Their Rizz. We got Rate Their Rizz with IShowSpeed in Korea. There music on this one? Okay, there's not music. Thank goodness. This is a clip from about 4 months ago. Shout out to IShowSpeed going worldwide. Man, I love what he's doing and how far he's come. So it's great. But it says Korean women don't like IShowSpeed. So he's going to go approach women in Korea and then look at his response.
Nice to meet you. Thank you, bro. Thank you, bro. Watch this. Watch this. Watch. Hey, watch this. Yo, how y'all doing? What's up with y'all? Yo, what's good? Hey. Oh, she's beautiful. Hello? You scared of me?
No.
You scared?
No.
All right, so shout out to the Korean girls right here. Shout out to IShowSpeed. Let me just tell you, man. I saw the comments in here, and I looked at the comments on this video. It was on YouTube, and they were saying that they don't like black people. Well, I can say that they probably might not like black people. In this case, it's not really because he's black. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, if you understand culture, running up and cold approaching Korean women is a no. It is not. It is taboo to go cold approaching Korea. And I was there. Trust me, they don't do cold approach. In many areas in Asia, specifically the Far East, running up and talking to women is not normal. People will just literally be like, what? Now, especially if you're a larger American and a larger black man, Korean women are scared to begin with. And I don't think you understand. American women are scared also, but they're bigger and broader. Korean women are like children. All right. Especially younger ones. They just gonna giggle. They're gonna run away. Cold approaching in Asia is not it. Just to let you know, don't go to Asia and cold approach. The only ways you can cold approach in Asia would be, I would say, in Southeast Asia. Their culture doesn't have a need to talk to a stranger. And they're always going to be put off by this behavior. Everybody in Far Asia specifically, they're really just in their own bubble. They're amongst millions of people in their own bubble. I was in Asia and you don't see cold approaching. By the way, just so you guys know, in America, you don't see people cold approaching either. Even though women say they want to be approached, cold approaching, I want you to think for yourself. When you're out, other than in places of niggerdom, which are like, house parties, nightclubs and hole in the wall clubs in Detroit and project parties, most people are not cold approaching. It is not a normal thing to see a dude going from here to there as people are moving around and minding their own fucking business to cold approach. Although we think it's normal and we think people do it a lot, even people in America don't do it, especially when you go up the class ladder. When you go up the class ladder, cold approach is very rare. You don't see people doing it all the time. Then when you go to Asia, you will see nobody doing it. Nobody's doing it. And they don't talk to other people. There's not an open thing to be receptive of people or strangers approaching them. They're in their own bubble. Then when it's male to female, certainly American to Korean, it's not normal to have this being done, even when they're outside socially. They're going to be put off by this behavior. Okay. So a lot of people are making about it as race, but you have to understand, once you start traveling, you will see this. It is not a thing that people do. They typically are very into their own self in their own world. And they, especially the young women, they're going to back up and then giggle. They're going to act about it very immaturely. Okay. So I'm just letting you know. And men will go over there because men are, especially black men. That's how they think. Let's go talk to people in public, specifically women. they're not receptive to it, and it's somewhat culturally taboo to walk up and cold approach a woman in Far East Asia.
Mitchell.
Yeah, that doesn't mean she's not interested. That doesn't mean she doesn't want to have sex with you, because once you get behind closed door, yeah, there might be that. So if you meet her in the right circumstance, yes. But out in the public, open like this in the street, no. Yeah, that it's not gonna work. And by the way, the only people that really do this are black guys. They think people just want to talk to them and meet them.
Watch this. Yo, how y'all doing?
And then amongst a group of people, no.
What's up with y'all? Yo, what's good? Hey. Oh, she's beautiful. Hello? You scared of me?
No.
You scared? No. How are y'all? Yo, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How you doing?
Yep, see? With all that plastic surgery. Yep, and you got cameras and lights. Yeah, it's just a very abnormal thing to do. But I know people think that's how men and women meet, but I've bursted your bubble on that. Most men and women don't meet in this way. Okay, most men and women don't meet in this way. Now, like I said, if you go to places of niggerdom, they'll do so.
God damn it. Yo, how y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
Yeah, see, it has nothing to do with him being black per se. That it probably plays a part, but that's not racism. That's not racism. It is not common for people to just approach people like that, especially romantically. They're not going to be receptive of it. They're going to walk past you, ignore you. And all you have to do is just look, all right, open up your eyes. But Rizz, he's in the wrong place for that. And then he's loud, aggressive, he big, he got he looks crazy and menacing. And we're like, you're not here. Okay. Now, let's go to the next one here. We have, interesting. All right, we have this news right here. We have this news. Apparently, and this is going to be very common. I actually see a lot of women, actually have a young lady here, and she showed me this. A lot of women follow these accounts, not just men. They follow the accounts of people who create imagery, like women who create AI. And a lot of incel red pillars, they believe that this is going to be one of those things that are going to put women back. It's going to set them back. They're going to be out here frozen out of OnlyFans because AI is going to take over. But you think that's going to be better if AI women take over and men pay for that? You think that's your better deal? Okay. Incel talk. So we have this one right here of a man that apparently is making AI money on an account similar to OnlyFans. And trust me, women are paying for these accounts. They follow these accounts just as much as men because a lot of the accounts are very aesthetic. They look good. The women look good in it. You know, women follow women. They actually sell things on these accounts in terms of clothing and retail. Also, if you look at them, these women are doing videos at destinations. All right. So they're doing all of these great videos and poses, and the women follow them just as much as men. But apparently this woman's going to report that a man is making $43,000 by creating AI images through Claude.
Was a guy, college kid in Austin, who runs an OnlyFans account that got him $43,000 in 30 days, and it is completely AI. So he has created a fake girl, totally fake. He's named her Maya. She is 22 years old. She's a psych dropout. She now has 1,247 paying subscribers. Her top fan paid almost $2,000 in direct messages and content over the last month. Average revenue per fan is $34. She doesn't sleep because she's AI.
Now, this is what I'm telling you. This is where the red pill missed. And I want you to hear this criticism. Everybody, the red pill missed because you could have told guys to do this. Instead, you were so focused on trying to get the women to fail that you didn't realize that this was a lane. You reported it, You made many incel red pill videos. You described this. You said AI is going to take over and put these women out of OnlyFans, but instead of bossing up, you guys bitched up and you missed the window. See, that's where the red pill will fail men, because that's what you should have done. That's what you should have done. The red pill should have created a course of telling men how to price the women out of OnlyFans by creating the AI model. By the way, I did this on the Money Mindset. I talked about how you can make faceless content and you can do this. I didn't talk about it in this particular way, but I end up saying, okay, we can boss up. We can use this momentum. What guys should have done in this space, instead of waiting for the women to fail because you hate women, you should have figured out how to cater to the simp. All right. If there's a simp marketplace, let's cater to it instead of making video after video after video criticizing the simp. I figured this out by creating the JUCO content. But you guys were so focused on these simps are ruining things instead of doing this. That's where you could have won. That's where you could have won. But you didn't. You were hoping that this is going to put the woman out. But this is a smart ass move.
I'm not a
Because you're not defeating the simp marketplace. You're not defeating the JUCO. You're not putting that out of business. You're not bringing about Christ to put it out of business. Well, my Christian morals, okay, your Christian morals, stay broke. But this is where we at.
real, right?
By the way, dude, I'm telling you, I've seen some of these AI accounts on Instagram. When I tell you that people can't tell that it's AI, people cannot tell that it's AI. And it is mind-boggling, which tells me this is more doom and gloom. These people are having conversations with these accounts. Okay, and I'm looking at it as they clearly AI. You can go and look, because the couple things that I do, I basically say, all right, go to their videos, find a video of her talking. Well, this man created a video of her talking because there's some great videos of the women talking. But is the video over 10 seconds? Is it up to a minute? Is she giving her opinion on something? If the video is less than 8 to 10 seconds, it's probably AI. Then you're going to have to look at, is she responding to the comments? Now, Instagram has done something very good for you to defeat this. If you get yourself involved with a woman that has a response, by the way, the woman can send auto responses via DM, so that's not going to help you. But Instagram has now come up with the tool to help and assist you with this. And the tool is called, let me see if we can get the tool's name. It's called Instance. Okay. Instance. Just in case you get involved in having a conversation with a woman and you think you're having a conversation with a real woman, this is happening. Trust me, this is happening. Instance is a thing that a woman can send you via Instagram. I think they're going to have their own app in some particular case. Let me see here. Instagram. And if you're having this problem, what a person can do, you can ask them for an instant, which means in effect, you can go, the camera's going to take a picture of what they're doing right now. So take a picture of an instance and have them send it to you. If they can't send an instance, they're not real, or they're not willing to engage with you seriously. They're having a conversation via AI, but tell them to take a picture of an instance, and then that way you can see where they are, see what they're doing in real time. They cannot manipulate this as of now. At some particular point, they will. Same thing as a woman. You got a girlfriend and she's saying she's somewhere with her sister at niece or lunch. The camera, they cannot upload an old photo. They have to update the instance. Then that way they cannot manipulate this. They're exactly where they are. And that's going to be the tool that you would use in order to get the right information, right? You want to get the right information. But I'm just letting you know, man, today, these AI pages are crazy good. Guys are figuring out how to manipulate men. And I actually have another video showing this. Let me see if I can pull this up. I have another video showing this. I don't know if I set it up for today's show. Yeah, I didn't set it up for today's show. That's sad. But there's a video of a guy that actually shows how he's doing this as well. All right, let me see if I can do it live. All right, let's see here. Let's see if I have it. ready to go, primed and ready to go. I may not have it. Maybe we'll do it on another show. Maybe I'll remind you. Or if you're on Locals, maybe I'll post it over there. But you can basically get yourself, record yourself, and it'll make you into whatever you want as an avatar. It's incredible what's happening these days. Anyway, I guess that was a little crime and law. But we'll show you how men are not catching up. And it's an evil world we live in. Listen to this video of this young man. And this is the type of shit that I tell you, men are not catching up. They're losing. If you have it on Locals, let me know of the video. But this is a young man that I saw on TikTok. This is a video. He says, this is where I say men are stuck. I want you to understand this. It says, since all these girls want to be young hoes, let's start being some young pimps. All right, let's play the video. Play the video.
Bitches want to be young hoes. How about we start being some young pimps and start getting money out the bitch when she get it from that goddamn trick?
This is what I call red pill rage. This is what I call feeding the red pill rangers. Since they want to be young hoes, we can get some young pimp and get the money out the trick. When I tell you people are stupid, this is what I'm talking about. People are stupid. First of all, there's so many things wrong about this. Now, I think you can do this on the internet. You can be an OnlyFans pimp manager. Okay. But trust me, they got enough pimps out here that are struggling. It's hard out here for a pimp. Number two, a lot of these women don't have, they're renegades out here. So there's no need for a male pimp. Now, you can be a security. You can drop the bitch off and you can get her back in the car while her funky punani out here leaking. But this ain't gonna work. All dudes ain't gonna be able to these hoes. All right, but look at what I'm telling you. This is why I can't with these men in this space. I can't be with these dudes. Look at this, 341,000 likes. Yeah, son. Yeah, pimp him. Let's pimp him. Now, the last point on this one. Actually, two more points. Yes, prison. You can go to prison for many, many years, bro, for doing this. Okay. Many, many years if you get caught doing this, trafficking women. You know, this is you can't just stay on one corner all your life. You got to take these hoes to Dallas. You got to take these hoes to Houston. You got to take them down to Figueroa. You got to take them up to Seattle. You got to put them on tour. You got to get in the Cadillac. You got to take them to Vegas. You got to take them to Hawaii on Kalakaua Avenue. You can't just stay in one place and pimp from your apartment. So you got to move around. Just so you guys know, that's how you have to do it. It's very difficult to keep the same corner. All right. Sometimes it ain't out there. You got to drive them around, which would be trafficking. Now, you do have to have front money for this. So, you know, I mean, like you got to get the money out the woman. So that's front money. Or you got to have money before you get the women. That's front money. And by the way, there's other P's out here that got money. So they're going to knock your hoe. All right. All hoes are going to get knocked. You're going to all get your hoes knocked. Like, it ain't like a hoe gonna stay faithful to you. Some dude gonna knock her. They gonna knock her for a bigger, better pimp. Last point on this one is that when it comes to this, men are in love, women are in business. I'm gonna just say this again. Men are in love, women are in business. The fact that you guys see young hoes, you can never pimp them because you ain't got the stomach, okay?
Do you have the stomach?
You don't have the stomach. You want to love these girls. You want to love these hoes. The fact is, you will never get young guys to be peas to a woman because they don't have the stomach to see their girlfriend get filleted.
Do you have the stomach?
Men are in love with these women. Men fall in love with hoes. They don't fall in love with hoes and put them in and be pimping. They fall in love with the girl to keep her off the streets. I can change your life. I can change her. I can fix her. Men are in love. Women are in business. So the fact that you'll never get men to ever comply overwhelmingly to do so, men are possessive. Men want to keep that pussy to themselves. They don't want to share their girl with another. See, he left that part out. He said, get the money from the trick. Oh, no. It's more than that, sir. There's more than that. He looking serious about it too. And that's how you're going to do it with your hat cocked. I don't know who this content creator is. Maybe he's maybe he's cosplaying. But you're never going to do this. This is never a good strategy. Maybe we all should pimp them. Oh my God. All right. Shout out to the young people out here. The comments full of hope strategists. All right. People out here, hope strategy. Yeah, that's what we should do, son. That's what we should do. No, you're not. You're not going to do it. So I said, it's too much work, Unc. Exactly. It's, guys, being and managing women is work. It is not free. It is a lot of work managing women. I don't care how you're managing them. You're going to be emotionally drained and frustrated managing these women. So don't think it's going to just be an easy job and have her show up to the trick. All right. And get the money and all of that. And you're good. It becomes a very difficult thing to do. All right. And I manage women in a variety of ways. But even if you do things like, let's say, a poly relationship, dude, it's just draining managing them. You got, you know, women, I think women are to be managed. I think the woman is their best self when they're managed by a guy. All right. Now, some women will disagree, and I get it, but I don't care. Women are their best self when they're managed by a guy. But what happens is they're going to rebel against management at some particular point, and a smart man has an exit plan. But let's just say you have 5 wives. That takes a lot of work. Not only a lot of work, a lot of resources, managing expectations. And if you do it properly, what you give the one, you got to give to all. If you're doing it properly, what you give the one, you have to give the all in terms of money, energy, attention, and time. You can't really make one feel less than. You can give them different responsibilities, but if one feels like she's getting less than the other, you're going to have a problem at management. You're going to need a house mother that manage the human resources in your house, because that's human resources. And they got feelings, and women got fucked up feelings, man. Women are very emotional. They crash out. Even when they need the management and need the instruction and need that comfort that you provide, it is a full-time job. All right. Full-time job. Don't think that, oh, I'm going to be out here just flooding in pussy. That will happen after you get a headache. Right. So it's going to be a major headache. Anyway, let me get to some support. Then we're going to move down to the sub-main event, into the main event. But let's go over to the Cash App, because y'all out here hitting the Cash App. Shout out to Ashley Davis, a brother. He says, have a great weekend, CGA. Salute. And Ashley Davis, a longtime Coach Gang supporter. That is a co-sponsorship. I'm Rizz, man. That is a co-sponsorship. Shout out to you. Appreciate you, Ashley. Good to see you doing well. Someone says Jacob had that problem with Rachel and Lee, or Lay. I don't even know what that means. But yeah, man. You guys got to know, man, all relationships come to an end. And at some particular point, whether you're managing one woman or multiple women, there's going to be an exit plan necessary. And you just want to know that when that plan comes, she's going to hatch her plan way before you. So you want to have that exit plan so you can have her leave and have her not fuck shit up, because women will fuck shit up. So you want to make sure that they leave good and leave with something so that they don't feel like they're going to leave with nothing, and negotiate that up front. It's tough. I had to learn this over years, man. I had to learn this over time. And men have never accepted this. They think women are going to be in their lives and their lives become easier. No. Women can make areas of your life easier, but your life becomes harder. Okay? Your life is going to become harder because women their emotions lead them to make certain conclusions and jump to conclusions, and they have certain needs, and their desires change over time, and they grow and mature. They go into certain eras. They have different needs when they started versus when they finish. Okay. Things are going to change dynamically. They're variables. So you can't expect that you're just going to be like, oh, I got a woman, I can relax now. No, you got a woman. Now you got to stand up and be like, all right, what do I do? You got to literally think like them and think ahead of them and prepare. And even if you, let's say, for instance, you got 9 out of 10 things right. You delivered. Like, you have the deliverables, right? And you said, I'm going to manage my girl. I'm going to manage my wife. I'm going to manage my girlfriend. I'm going to manage my harem. Let's say you had 10 things on the schedule to manage, and you knock down and you prepare for 9 out of those 10. she gonna find the one thing you didn't do and ask you about it. And you're gonna be sitting over there with a full barrel of 9 out of 10. Like, what about this? You see all these 9 out of 10 things that I did? And she like, yeah, but you didn't do this. You're like, that's how they work. And you have to accept that. You have to accept that, and that's what I teach you to do. You know what I mean? That's why I'm trying to get you prepared for this. Don't ever think it's going to be an easy endeavor. It's going to be very frustrating. The effort that you gave, you thought was good enough. But she's going to do a lot of things. She's going to do a lot of things for you. And one thing that I'm going to tell you is, and what guys in the red pill have led you astray, is that the things that they do, men today expect them to do it. Okay, that's what a woman does. That no longer exists because everything is monetized. So if a woman does something for you today, more than likely she expects to see a return. The things that she does, she expects you to recognize. Even though it's a small thing, but it's a thing that made your life easier that you didn't have to do it. Let's say she swept the floor and she cleaned out the refrigerator. She went to your refrigerator. She cleaned off all the trays, took them out, washed them. You know what I mean? You walked in the kitchen, got a drink, left, and she done washed and took all the fucking trays out the refrigerator. And then you went back to doing what you was doing. You came back and the trays was put back in and all the fucking things was put back in the refrigerator and you don't say nothing. Guess what? She gonna log that in her memory. She gonna log that in. You don't give her a reward. You don't give her praise. She gonna log that shit in. Oh, okay. Now repeat that over multiple times and then put your woman brain on. Repeat that over multiple times. She does a small act like that made your life easier, but you didn't acknowledge it. You cooked. You're gonna lose your woman. And then you're gonna say something stupid. Well, that's what women supposed to do. They supposed to do that. Cook it clean. Look at what I'm providing. Look at what I paid for. You're gonna say, but I paid the rent. I paid the electricity. Okay, that worked in 1957. Today, that don't work. You don't consider that like, oh, I did that in exchange for that. Okay, just to let you know, if you think that's going to be the case, and any guy that says they have a woman that doesn't need these things, listen, okay, congratulations. That's anecdotal. This is not going to work for the majority of men. You don't reward her by the end of the day, end of the week, she going to log that shit in. Then you're going to be mad when she out here developing her exit plan, monkey branching, and going to the next nigga. Then you're going to be mad. What did I do? What did I do? And she going to say something stupid like, well, remember that one time I cleaned out the refrigerator? And then you're going to be like, what? Really? And then you're going to say all the things that you did. Well, remember I took you to dinner. Remember I took you to this. And remember I took you to that. What's she going to say? Well, that's not a reward. You took me to dinner. So it's what I'm telling you, man. There's no way you can defeat this. It's going to be a constant. The only way you defeat that is not to engage in these type of relationships. Okay, but that line is always going to move for them like this all the time. And they consider those things, they add them up. So anyway. Yeah, those were gifts. You gifted that to me. So she gonna want a reward, whatever it is. You can pet her, you can. There's a whole bunch of things you can do, but you're not beating this, brothers. Pause. Even when I say that, you're not beating this. I gotta say pause. Attention to detail. And like I said, let's just say you become very good and proficient at doing this. They're gonna find something else. Just so you know, they're gonna find something else. All right, they're gonna find something else. So again, even if you're trying to be conscious of paying attention to the things that she does for you and rewarding her, trust me, next week it'll be something else. So I don't give a fuck about. That's why we say managing them is hard. It's a lot of work, money, energy, attention, and time. Let's say, for instance, that you get frustrated and you say, "Look, bitch." And you start going off and trying to keep her in check. What I do for you is this. And you start telling her what you do, X, Y, and Z. Well, that's still you paying. Because now you have to have this conversation and you have to intimidate them and you have to tell them to be more appreciative of the efforts you make. Again, that's managing. Now you got to keep the girl in check and then bring her expectations down just a little bit. Tell her she getting carried away, that she don't appreciate shit. Bitch, you can leave if you don't. Again, that's still payment. Okay, you still going through the bullshit. You wasting energy trying to manage. And then the next week, you're going to be managing the expectations again. Managing the expectations again. Managing the expectations again. It's a nonstop. Nonstop. That's why we tell you it's work. That's why we tell you you're going to pay. And at some particular point, you're going to be distracted from even your own purpose. Now you have a purpose, but where's your energy being directed? To that. Your energy is being directed to that. Instead of being directed to what your purpose is. All men pay. That's an example of all men pay. You don't always have to pay with money, but you're going to pay with money regardless. You don't always have to pay with money, but it's a constant. Anyway, there's a lot of rewards out of it for yourself too, because a woman at some particular point, she'll give you a lot of good time, but the time is going to come to an end. Anyway, shout out to our brother here, been around the world, and yeah says thank you for the edutainment, coach. Appreciate you. Eric Scott is in the building. Great Scott. Shout out to Eric. Appreciate you for being here. Okay, I'm refreshing the screen, so I'm just trying to, let's see here. All right, come on, PayPal. Pull the screen up. Pull the screen up. All right, shout out to Kaylin. He says, one of the best interviews PBD conducted was with Kobe after he retired. That got Valuetainment a lot of traction. That added credibility to them. PBD has a great media platform, but he's not the dating or even a relationship expert we need. He needs to stay in his lane. He can do whatever he wants, but yeah, let him give bad advice if he wants to. But yeah, he got a lot of traction doing great stuff. Shout out to him. No disrespect to him for sure. Shout out to Brayon, says, Coach, I just want to say thank you. Went from working in a warehouse to becoming a police officer with a take-home patrol car and free college tuition. Shout out to you. And I remember that. Brayon used to donate and ask me questions and advice about going into his career path that he is now did. He was in the police academy, sending in his contribution, telling us that he wants to boss up. So that's another example of the shows that we have to put out here about the bossing up, constantly improving yourself. Right. And I think he started off on our streams because of child support. If I'm not mistaken, I might be wrong. I think he was in a child support issue in a bind. Shout out to him. Alan H says, keep dunking on those Christians. He says their Bible was translated by King James and his lackeys in their own point of view of the world. I guarantee you the original translation does not match what they read today. They don't want to hear that shit neither. Okay. Okay. They don't want to hear that shit either. All right. But then I don't have any proof of that. So it is what it is. But we know King James. Just go look it up. We know what time it is. And everything's perspective. Shout out to you, man. But we going to dunk on the Christians. Christians, you could be talked about too. I don't know what the hell. They think they can't be criticized. I can. And I ain't afraid of Christians. So Christians, as long as they ain't got power, they can't do shit. They can't do shit. Shout out to D. Phil says, appreciate you, coach. Oh, that was earlier today. So shout out to you, man. I got you. Somebody's out here, men in love women. How many videos have you seen? And by the way, I've been accused of taking people's content by one person that said I took a sound effect. Now, have I talked and said things that I've heard other people say? Yes. We all are guilty of that. So taking something that somebody says and elaborating or embellishing or saying, hey, I heard someone say, or this type of thing, or sometimes giving credit, we all do that. There's nothing new under the sun. But let me tell you something. When I say people are taking from me, it means in effect, they were saying one thing one day and now they're saying another. And normally it's attributed back to some shit that I said already. That's what I'm talking about. But when I said it, I took arrows. Like I was getting shot. I took arrows and they even criticized me for saying it. What? Game is dead. It's dead. Right? Women got way more options than men. They got social media. Game is dead. But a lot of people, what I'm saying is, maybe they're not stealing from me, but what I'm saying is they're basically just saying that I was right by switching it up a little bit to finesse it and massage it to figure out, okay, CGA, what he was saying 3 or 5 years ago, that shit makes sense. All right, yeah, I agree with that. But most of these guys behind the scenes don't have any experience with women, very little. So even when they say what they're saying, you can just tell, I could just tell you they don't have experience in how they put it together. Okay. So that's what makes it funny to me. Just like, nigga, how would you know that? Like, how would you even know that and understand that? All they're saying is just saying it. Okay. But it is what it is. Shout out to them. All people will sound like me in 3 to 5 years. They have no choice because we're here. They have no choice because that's their reality. But I was saying it when it wasn't as realistic. It was not as much in your face. All right. Anyway, he says they ain't lying about regarding King James. I'm a Christian. Yeah, indeed. I mean, the Bible is hard to read without the King James version, so I will give you that. All right. So if you go back to some other texts of other forms of the Bible, it's very hard to read or understand. It's like reading quatrains from Nostradamus. You can't understand what the hell he's talking about. So then you need an interpretation. But let's get to the sub main event, into the main event. Check out a couple of videos here that I found, or we had the Coach Gang find here that kind of talks about what I tell you. We have the first video is a woman to say, backing up basically what the other guy was saying. And she's saying that these young girls be hoes. Okay. Let these young girls be hoes. So here we go right here. We have a young Ling Ling.
As a young woman, you should be a whore. Hear me out. The obsession with female sexuality is as old as humanity itself. Abrahamic religions present to us the virgin, honorable, pure, and they present to us the whore, shamed, degraded, cast out. They appear everywhere in art, literature, jokes, pornography, fantasies. You probably don't remember the first time you were called a whore. You probably don't remember the first time you called someone a whore. As the years go on, you realize that every culture has a whore. The woman with her hair out, the unmarried woman, the woman who travels alone, the woman who travels with her friends. To some people, it is the girl who goes to school. To others, it is the girl in the bikini. Every version of a woman can be twisted into the whore. And then you realize that the Madonna whore complex is a lie, a complete fallacy, to delude you into thinking that there are women more deserving of being called a whore than you, instead of making you resist, truly resist. The Madonna whore constellation tricks you into auditioning for Madonna. In reality, there is only the whore. The girl who fucks on the first date is seen as a whore the same way the married woman's husband, who clicks into online rape academies, sees her as a whore. The wife isn't safer than the slut. Madonna isn't more loved than the whore. They are hated all the same. Eventually, you realize that whore is a flexible accusation that bends itself to punish any version of female autonomy. The whore is the panopticon of patriarchy. Eventually, you realize whore means woman.
You can't win.
That's essentially what she's saying. She's like, women, you can't win.
You can't win.
Interesting take of her saying, well, you're going to be a hoe regardless. That's essentially what her take is. No matter what you do, if you're married and your face is out, you're a whore. If you're married and you cut your hair, you're a whore. That's what she's saying right there. And this is why I say it's a wrap, because as long as women have the capability to have their own autonomy and independence and somewhat be free of thought, they can recruit other women into the same ideology faster than Christians can convert them back to traditionalism. Now, they'll convert back initially when that all roads lead back to them benefiting, or they'll be a Jezebel the rest of their lives. That typically doesn't happen. They'll eventually pivot back. But let me just show you the engagement here on this. Okay, the engagement. Okay, as long as women have this tool called media, aka what is known as social media, this is why I'm telling you, you can't defeat this. There's Nathan you can Mickey Ficky do. Nathan, there's nothing you can do. They can recruit faster. They can get women in the same mindset quicker than you ever could. Even though you disagree, even though you might have a plan to change this, there's no way. It says, bottom line, women must collectively turn away from the male opinion. Take it off the pedestal. It is meaningless and only meant to control us. That's why I said it's over. A lot of men miss the point. Okay. Female autonomy will always scare them. You don't know if these are bots. The wife isn't safer than the slut. I've been saying that. All right. I said that. CGA said that. Okay. And then let's see here. You lose a part of yourself every time you sleep around. Okay, that's a her right here. We got this one says victim card declined. We are all whores and we are happy. Like, by the way, I said that as well. Haven't I said that? I was like, they're all whores. Now, their version of whores that they are. There's version of whores, but they're all going to participate. According to this metric, according to men's metrics on judging women, according to what she's saying, she said, then we're all whores.
You can't win.
Hey, man, that's where we are. And they're also acknowledging that they cannot stop being what considered a 304. I've constantly reminded people that whatever label you put on women, eventually, if you keep putting that label on them, they'll just accept it. Right? They'll just accept it, or they'll just find a way to make that you part of you controlling them, you manipulating them. They'll find a way to make that patriarchy. They'll find a way that so this is the video the woman put together is her response to men calling her a whore and other women as the like. Well, she was like, well, if I'm one, then all these other women are as well. And if all these women are, then we all are. I'm just letting you know, this is definitely how they work. So I don't know. You got to figure out how women work to understand them and accept it. But I think also where men don't adjust is that they think they can just say these things and the woman's going to buckle and be like, yes, you got us. And then you're going to get them back under control. The only way you control women is through brute force. And that's it. And even then, you don't have the ability to do that today. That's it. Like, you can't keep them away. You can't keep them locked in the house. You can't keep them from going outside. You can't keep them from driving a car. You can't control that way anymore. And that's why that's one of the reasons men checked out of dating, is it because the new version of women, they can't control. You can't keep them in church. You can't force them to read Bible passages and scriptures that are oriented to and them to being Proverbs 31 women. You can't do that anymore. They're free. They have freedom. They have freedom to post on social media, even in a relationship and marriage. They could just jump on social media and talk that shit. There's no way you're controlling. You can control one for a period of time. You can't control them all. You don't have the ability to. Like, you can't keep them off social media. You can't be with a woman and be like, no TikTok, no Instagram, no So therefore, you got to evolve if, and I'm going to tell you, and this is the if you want to associate with women. This is what I found doing this, is that no matter how much you tell men that you're better off single, the majority of men that watch shows like myself and others want a woman Eventually, I can't stop you from being with women. I can't stop you from getting married. I can't stop you from being in a relationship. I can't stop you. But most men, they think they're here because they see a couple people fire off in the comment section. Yeah, that's why I'm going to stay single for life and go monk mode forever. The majority of men still are going to engage with women and try to get, and they're going to be manipulated by them. They're going to get this woman to say sweet nothing in their ears and then promise you a whole bunch, knowing full and damn well she done failed in every relationship so far, and she going to fail in your relationship too. Right? You're going to want a woman. You're going to want a woman to sleep. Oh, shit. My laptop fell off in this position right here. It was about to go crash. Caught that bitch. All right.
Gotta get my...
Got him.
Gotcha, bitch.
All right. My laptop was about to go bye-bye. It's about to be busted. But back to what I was saying. A lot of guys talk that shit, but they really indeed, they want a woman they can control. That's what they want. All right. Anyway. Damn. I done fucking got a cramp in my chest trying to grab that shit. Anyway, we got another young lady that says this. We got two young ladies that have some interesting things to say about their relationships. So let's see here. Okay, I'm moving this one here. We don't want to share. Where's that video of that one girl? I had another video to share and I can't find it. What the fuck? This is crazy. All right, hold on for a second. Let's see if I can find it. Oh, here it is. Okay, this is one. I don't even know why this is making on today's show. But it should be on today's show. What the fuck? This is crazy. All right, shout out to y'all. If y'all follow me on social media, y'all seen the real behind the scenes lifestyle, the whole boss up mentality come to fruition. Y'all seen what the move. Okay, y'all seen the moves that I'm making and how I'm even improving my life in the vast majority of ways. And I think you should too. All right, so let's start with this woman. It is a woman that says right here, I think she just broke up with her boyfriend. So this should be interesting. I think we have two women who just broke up with their boyfriends, I believe. So this is the first woman here. Let's go ahead and play portions of her video and break it down.
This man to enter my life literally has to kiss the ground I walk on, worship me, yearn me, give me my autonomy. Obviously, I'm not going to cheat on you, bro, but you're going to let me live my life and you're going to be happy for me and you're going to be my yes man and you're going to provide for me without making me feel like shit about it. Like the next man that comes into my life is going to be a fucking unicorn. And if that doesn't ever happen, then I don't want to be with anybody else because I'm going to be so freaking picky and so particular with who I date and who I give my mind and energy and body to. You are literally going to have to make me want you so bad. And you are going to have to make my life so much better than what I can provide for myself. If you can't do that, I don't want nothing to do with you. If you cannot make my life better than what it is right now with me and my kids, I'm providing for myself and providing happiness and love and calmness and peace in my life. If you cannot do that, I don't want anything to do with you.
Brothers,
Oh, the humanity.
I want you to understand that this is a common mindset. Like the mindset of a woman that's just like, I want to just improve his life and just be a wife is gone. It's gone. Now you got this. Worship the ground he walks on. Worship the ground she walks on. Also give her autonomy, meaning that don't check my phone. Just trust me. I'm not cheating on you, bro. Don't worry about it. So don't follow her around. Don't restrict her freedom of movement and her freedoms altogether. She still wants to live independently. She also mentioned monetized. I have a life, which includes her kids, oddly enough, but she can provide for herself up to this. You have to go above that. That's called monetized. But as you're providing up to that, she's still free. She still has her autonomy over here, which the other woman talked about. This is a common thing. And if you think this is only in the United States, I've heard women over in Asia say the same thing. Now, the women over in Asia, the younger women are saying this, not the older ones. The older ones, the over 35s, they're saying it less and less because over there's a reality of what happened to them. Okay, what happened to them is like, oh, shit. They got that oh, shit moment already. And it's tough for people in those forms of country to survive on their own. They get a reality check very relatively early and swiftly. All right, early and swifter than women over here in the United States. The women in the United States can prolong this and kick the can down the road until somewhere they find a version of their life just happy. Well, I'm happy with this version of life, but it's really a C-level life. But in order for you to understand that if you're in this situation, you're dealing with younger women, they all think like this. This is what women are offering men. Not many women are offering less than this. Okay, just to let you know, which means in effect, you have to adjust and adapt. So they'll find a younger guy. Older women are dating younger women. Older women are dating younger men. Why? Because that younger men will meet that metrics. He'll try to measure up to this. He'll try because he's groomable. So these are the women bragging about younger men being with them. Oh, the younger man accepts my kids and he plays with them. The younger man does this. The younger man does that. The younger man tries to help with, he tries to do this. He worships the ground I walk on. That's why they're dealing with younger men. And he blows her back out and he sleeps and cuddle with her and he leaves it in. But the older men of her age and older, they already know that that's a lost cause, in particularly. So that's what you're getting inside the minor women. That's what you're getting. I don't have any data on what it looks like in terms of who agree with her, but it is what it is. All right, you already know what time it is. Let's show you 2 more videos. We have a guy that says something that I've said and suggested, but he is now suggesting it, but he lived it. So we have a Pookie. The constant criticism in the male space is that the Pookie wins. Pookie always wins, right? And I've tried to play the devil's advocate and say, not necessarily. There's a level of control that the woman has over the Pookie that makes the Pookie more desirable. Now, I will say the Pookie probably is very proficient in bed, or the woman has a high attraction to Pookie, meaning that that's what makes her pussy wet. Because women will try to make they will give access to their vaginas for free to Pookie, but then they will require you to pay, right? And that's where the guys are going, this is messed up. But I've often offered that there's a controlling mechanism that the woman has over the Pookie that makes it more desirable to be in a relationship with her. Now, the previous video just backed that up, where she said, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to do this, and you got to do that. Well, Pookie will do that. And there's a reason why he has to do that, because most of the time he's homeless. He lives with his mama. He lives in a bad area. He can't buy a car. He has 2 felony strikes. He can't violate probation and parole, right? There's a lot of things that the Pookie is going to need this woman to do. So he has a need for her. So the way he approaches women is not just sexually. He has to be around her longer. So he's going to spend energy, attention, and time. He has to. He's going to move with her because she bought him a PlayStation. He has to. And this guy talks about it right here. This guy talks about it. And as you can see, the guy in the hat, you would say he's a Pookie. That's either a birthmark or a tattoo under his eye. So that will put him, and he has the braids. These are desirable traits for women, no matter if they're educated or not. She's going to say why abusive women like street niggas. Here we go. Damn, where's the volume? Okay, come on.
Yes.
Oh, I never
That's
thought.
what I'm saying, nigga. My baby mothers did it to me.
Yo,
my baby mother, my son mother used to be wild, but you know what she used to say? I call y'all. You can get out. You gotta. So it's like, dude, you using the fact that the government is oppressing me as a window for you to do some oppressive shit, and you know that I can't even. A part of my parole is I can't even have government contact. I go to jail just for calling them. So if you in here tearing this motherfucker apart, I'm gonna go to jail just for calling 911. I gotta just let you tear this motherfucker apart. Bitches always pick street niggas because we the easiest to get away with abusing.
Oh.
Then the average nigga is not articulate. He probably don't have a good literacy. So not only are you easy to abuse, they feel like they can whoop your ass in court on paper. Nigga, abusive women don't like intellect. They can't abuse you.
Yeah.
But a bitch that's not abusive, she gonna run to one of us.
Right.
But a woman that's like,
I
want to be able to tell this nigga to suck my dick when I feel like, cause hoes say that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to break this nigga shit. I want to be able to bother this nigga. They not gonna go for me or you. They gonna go for a nigga that they feel like if just going to a courtroom, you already look like the bad guy anyway, nigga. You got felonies, you was on parole. Like women are purposely picking hood niggas, but they not picking hood niggas because they really like you. They picking hood niggas because you're the easiest to bully.
Yeah.
The government already looking at you crazy anyway. You go watch the 20 verse 1 challenge. All of the niggas on there be at least thousandaires. They all got at least $250,000. It be surgeons on there, police on there, military on there, all kind of niggas. And I do mean black men, all kind of black men with all kind of jobs. Bitches always pop their balloons.
Oh, brothers. Now, I'm not a Pookie, but I've always suspected this. And I've seen this by experience because when the woman yells and gaslights you and screams and tear up the shit and threatens you and threatens to call the police because you're a Pookie and you look a certain way. And when the police comes, you look a certain way, you go into jail. And she knows that you're scared of the police. She knows that you on some FBA bullshit where you scared of the police. They know when the police come, you're going to get emotional and then they're going to confront you and they're going to shoot you. They know that when they take you to court and you come in with the orange jumpsuit with the braids in your hair and a tattoo on your face, they know that whatever she says in child support court, whatever she says in the domestic violence court, they're going to believe. And there's an element of major control over this guy. Not only that, because he is able to, he's probably leading sexually, she knows you're weak to sex. So that's where you judge yourself. And she knows that every time she opens her legs, you're going to go. Every time she whistles, you're going to show up. And every time she does, she's going to get a thrill sexually. She knows this. Now, men that don't have this, you're not going to be controlled by this. Because a lot of women that use this, they may say they're educated, but they're low quality. They're low quality. They have bad quality. They have bad behavior, which means a guy that is highly intellectual and career oriented, not job oriented, he's not going to put up with it. He's not going to put up with it. He's going to be like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good off that. So this is one of the things where dudes say Pookie always wins. I say no. Pookie doesn't realize it. When he gets kicked out, he has nowhere to go. He's got to be homeless or he's got to move in back with his mama or couch surf. So this isn't me coping. This is me trying to tell you and him trying to tell you as a Pookie what he's dealt with. And you will see that you have to put up as a Pookie with 2 felonies. You have to put up with bad behavior. As a Pookie, you're behind on child support with a bench warrant. You have to put up with her bullshit. Okay, you do. Because the minute the police get called or you call the police, and say, man, she tripping. The police gonna show up and you have a bench warrant. You don't think she knows that? You don't think she knows that going into the relationship? She don't think that, but yeah, she getting piped down. That's where the Pookie get it, the so-called free. Or he getting it for free. And yes, Pookies do get free bills. I mean, free to that point. The woman is sexually aroused by the Pookie. So whoever she's sexually aroused with, she will grant easier access for sure. That is not even part of the equation. We can't defeat that. And that's the same thing as us. Is somebody calling him Young Pharaoh? All right, because I don't recognize him. All right, so just so you guys know, shout out to Young Pharaoh. And is this the rapper Young Pharaoh? I'm not sure. But what he's saying is very true, which I always say, look at things long term instead of short term. Yeah, Pookie got them cheeks. She was on vacation. Pookie showed up. She opened her legs because he had braids and he was 6'1" and he had muscles and tattoos. Yes. That gonna happen. That gonna happen to a woman who sell pussy. She sell pussy and she gonna give up the booty cheeks to this nigga. It happens. There's nothing we can do about them. There's nothing we can do. All right, people expecting me to know these motherfuckers on the internet. All right, to me, he's just an internet nigga. I don't know. All right, here we go. All right, people think I'm got a pulse to the goddamn social world here. I don't know. But long term, what's going to happen? She knows there's areas that she can manipulate. And that's where it is. Women are always going to find areas that they can manipulate. You got to know in yourself, you got to know where you're vulnerable to manipulation because they're always going to find a way to manipulate you. Meaning, when I say manipulate, I mean gain an advantage, get what they want. They're always going to find a way. Don't think they ain't going to look for a way. They always angling and looking for a way. All right, that's how they survive. He's a big YouTuber. All right, shout out to him. No disrespect when I don't know someone, but it is what it is. Right, here we go right here. We have Christine, what's her name? Christina Mackey is back on the show after appearing on the show a few years ago. For some reason, she's gone feral. If you don't know who Christina Mackey is, let me go ahead and go down memory lane for a second. Memory lane. And by the way, this is the last time I heard of her, so I don't know what she's been up to, but shout out to her. Let's see what Christina Mackey was previously the young woman that was dating Rick Ross. Shout out to the boss, Rick Ross. I'm thinking this is the same person. She was the short hair pixie cut girl that got with Rick Ross and then thought she had a come up. All right. So she thought she came up. She got with a rich guy. She started being, I don't know, I would assume she was in these streets. She looked like she was in these streets. Rick Ross. And then she moved in with Rick Ross and she thought shit was sweet. And what had happened was she was taking Rick Ross to the gym. She started recording on social media. And then what she was starting to do is she started to educate women on how to get high status men. Right. So she was like, girls, you got to do this and you got to do this. This is how I got my guy. This is how I did this. So she started celebrating a little too early. That's what I think. Rick Ross tricked on her, bought her some teeth. Remember that? Rick Ross took her and gave her some new teeth. All right. He moved her in. She started taking videos on the ranch and doing all this. She thought she had it. She thought she had that shit. But she didn't. All right. It slipped out of her hands and she became somewhat annoying. And then he had to get rid of her. Well, apparently she's been out here dating, which is not that hard to figure out. She's a beautiful woman. She definitely is a beautiful woman. So apparently she broke up with her last boyfriend. All right. So here she is right here. This is posted 2 days ago. Look at the engagement. All right. A lot of engagement here. A lot of comments. So apparently her last relationship has gone astray as well. And she says, I broke up with my boyfriend today. Let's play the video. Let's get the volume up.
Not for any crazy reason. No heavy argument. I broke up with my boyfriend today. And not for any crazy reason. No heavy argument. Nothing crazy. He's a great person. He's really such a sweet guy. He literally taught me how to love. He's gentle. Whoever gets him is going to be in for such a soft, loving life, right? But I realized I'm a very high output individual and I have high expectations for my friends, my girlfriends. They'll all tell you, Christina does not want to hear your bullshit. I'm not the friend that you call and vent to unless you want a real solution. If you want me to just listen, I could do that, but make sure you say that in the beginning of the call. But I'm the friend that's going to apply the pressure. I'm going to challenge you. If you tell me your dreams and your goals, I'm going to hold you accountable and I'm going to make sure you reach them. I'm that friend. I'm going to get you to your goals every single time.
Let me stop her right here. Gentlemen, this is kind of what I'm talking about in terms of the modern day woman. When I say they're monetized, that doesn't mean they sell pussy, right? That means there's a cost that there's something to get out of it. And you're going to hear this later. They don't just approach relationships like you would think in the past where they're like, oh, I'm going to pour into him. And then what am I going to get? Oh, I'm going to get a happy home. I'm going to get rent paid for. No, she says she had a guy that put her in her soft era. She didn't have to worry about shit. And it still wasn't enough. Why? Because he wasn't giving her space to build her shit up on top of your shit. See, I said this a long time ago. I keep saying this. Women are in the new modern woman doesn't just want to ride in your Mercedes-Benz truck. She wants her own Mercedes-Benz truck. She doesn't want to ride in your Ferrari or your pickup truck. She wants her own pickup truck because women today want their own shit. She doesn't want to make you a millionaire. She want to make you and her a millionaire. Not one source of income. She wants to also boss herself up. This is a version of the monetized woman. This is what I'm telling you about. Like, that's what women want to do. They have their own goals. They have their own career path. They have their own educational needs. They have their own shit. So they'll come in and build with you. They're willing to do that, but they're going to say, what am I getting out of it? Not just being a woman, not just being your dutiful wife. She also wants her own. So the other guy that was putting her in her soft era also wasn't making space to help her build herself. And that's why she dipped. That's why she dips. This is the new woman, 18 to 32, 18 to 35. That's what you're getting. That's what you're up against. They're not just trying to be out here, let you be the CEO and her make baking. Now, she does want to bake and cook and make pies and shit, but she also wants to think that she's going to be a millionaire in her own mind as well. Okay, let's continue.
And I'm that woman in a relationship as well. My husband, if he has a bad day, I'm going to remind him who the fuck he is. He's a king. You are a boss. You deserve the world. And I'm going to help you get it. I'm the kind of girlfriend that will buy you a fucking car. I'm the kind of girlfriend that will really grind all week just to see you happy at the end of the week. You
see that's what I'm talking about. See, a lot of guys don't like that. There are some bum niggas that do want a woman to build them up, But what that woman's going to do is build him up and then realize she's going to get nothing. So she'll buy him a car, build him up, build up his business, and then the guy will still fuck another girl, right? And then she's going to be like, but I help build your shit up. Because modern women today, they think like men. They don't think like women. Men are the new women. Women are the new men. So she's thinking that men find this desirable. Bum niggas do, but no. A guy that she's looking for to be a leader, a killer, a Godzilla out here, doesn't want a woman to buy him a car, right? A man that is out here going to get it, his plan is to buy himself the car so he can feel that he built himself up. He's not building himself up for a woman to come in and buy him a car because she's a boss babe. That is not what masculine men look for. But in her mind, she thinks that's where her value is. That's why why I'm telling you, this is especially with black women, but certainly with black adjacent women, which would be Latinas or any level of mud shark white woman, but really across the board, this is what women are ideal is. What they want in a man is what they want to see themselves as. Let's continue.
Call me a pick me use. I don't give a fuck. You guys know I don't care. But I'm the kind of girlfriend that will fight for it, that will make it work. I'll cut everybody off. I don't care. Everybody can go.
Okay, so you'll hear this constantly too. That they'll cut off their past, they'll cut off their past lovers. You don't have to worry about that. I'll invest in you. She'll dive in until it doesn't work anymore. And guess where she's at? Back outside. All right. So you already know this is her just wishing. All right, I'll get a pony and I'll clean up after it and I'll do this and I'll never leave the dog alone. I'll get a dog and I'll always love it and pet it and feed it and walk it on time. They say all of that, and then when they get the dog, guess what? Dog throwing up and shitting everywhere. You got hard rock shit under the couch. They got go to their room and shit and piss all over the bed. All right. So they're saying they want to do this, and I'll do this, I promise. And then guess what? They be running back to them niggas after they get what they want, or they get what they want and then don't work no more. Let's continue here. Christina Mackey, ladies and gentlemen.
What did Jay-Z say? If the house is on fire, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. I am loyal. I am so excited to build a family with somebody that I will cut off my own family because they're so toxic that I will start a whole new family and become a whole new last name, a whole new person, and won't look back. That's how important it is for me to choose a person. He doesn't give me half of that energy. I think that he thinks that just by being good and kind to me and opening my door and bringing me roses every month, and like, I think he thinks that he's going above and beyond.
Remember what I just told you that? And I've been seeing this whole video. I just said that earlier today. Didn't I say that? I said, you can give them 9 out of 10 and they gonna find the 10th thing that you didn't do. But before you got with them, they're going to say, all I want is a guy that does these things. And you'll be like, okay, good. And you'll do them. And then they'll say, but you didn't give me that. I just said that. I'm like, dude, there's no winning. Whatever you do, you got a list of 10 things. You only do 9. Oh, that's the bare minimum. That's just a steak dinner. That's nothing. You got to do this. Where's number 10? Let me play that again. Where's number 10? Ladies, if you're listening to this, this is me explaining to men what they're getting into. As I said, you can't win, brothers. You can't win. Listen.
I think that he thinks that just by being good and kind to me and opening my door and bringing me roses every month, and like, I think he thinks that he's going above and beyond. And he's not. Above and beyond is keeping my soul calm, giving me words like, baby, I got you. Don't worry. Even if it's never a financial thing between us. It's nothing like that. It's just like, I need you to be certain about me. I need you to know this is my partner. I don't play about her. This is my woman. I'm excited to have her.
Okay, this is called reassurance. All right, for women, this is called reassurance. So she needs to be reassured. She needs you constantly simping her on social media, constantly posting her, constantly talking about her, making TikTok videos about her, posting yourself and her online, posting your vacation pictures with her online. Okay. This is the one thing she's saying she's missing, that 80-20 rule, the other 80-20 rule. She has 80%, But the 20% she don't have, that ain't it. So she needs constant, everyday reassurance that you're doing the right thing, that you got her. Don't worry about it. Don't leave. I will never leave you. This is an everyday thing. When you get married, your wife is going to want this reassurance. If you think that she's just going to appreciate the shit that you do and the bare minimum, she just said it. I said it earlier. She just said it. She's just going to say that's what you're supposed to do, and that's normal. Okay. And anybody that thinks modern women are different from this, I'm sorry to tell you, they're not. By the way, look at the engagement here. When I told you, when you get in relationships with women, you're managing them all the time, even when you're working. But even when you go to work, you're supposed to be managing her. So this is what happens here. Oh, by the way, Dr. Boyce Watkins just put out a video that I was going to play, but I don't want to shit on him. He put out a video and said he was doing a live stream and his wife called him. And then she called twice. And then he said, but when my wife calls, if I don't pick it up twice, she'll call 4, 5, and 6 times. Now, the reason he brought that up was he was live streaming at the time. He uses his phone to live stream. But even the wife knowing that, she don't give a fuck. She don't care. Oh, he might be live streaming. But he said that when my wife calls me, if I don't pick up the phone, she'll call me 5 or 6 or 7 times. But he was like, I was live streaming on the phone, so I couldn't pick it up. Again, that's another example. There's no stopping. So he's working. She knows he's working, but he's working. He's taking the attention away from her. She wants the attention redirected back to him. I mean, she wants the attention redirected back to her, even though he's working. And you're like, but I'm working to pay these bills. All right. When I take you out to dinner, that I'm using the money that I made from work to take you out to make you feel good and buy roses. At that moment, she don't care. Later on, she might think about it. Maybe that is how I get dinners from him. Maybe that's how I do get flowers and roses. She'll think about it later, but she's going to bring it up to you. You know, you left me alone out here for work. I'm telling you, man, this is how that you got to know this going in. You got to know this going in. Let's play the video here.
I'm the type of woman that will change your life when I come into your life.
And so here it is again. I'm the type of woman that'll change your life when I come into your life. This is what I call over-promising and under-deliver. They all say that. She all believes that. I'll change your life. All right. How many men's lives did you change? 0. I mean, for the better. You probably changed them for the worse. You didn't clarify. I'll change your life for the worse. Okay. 99% of women will change your life for the worse when she comes into your life. But let's continue here. I'll change your life. I'll make your life better. Cap.
If you let me help you. If you don't want my help, I can't help you. But I will change your life. So I can't be in just a relationship because you're a good person. That's nice. What? Let's stay friends. You know, let's have a good, let's flirt sometimes. Sure.
Wow.
But in order for me to build an empire, I have to have somebody beside me who at least says the words.
Okay. And man. All right, there was so much in that one statement. I can't be the woman that you need to be just because you're a good person. Just because you're the good guy, I can't be that. Then she says, what did she say at the end here? I can't help you build an empire.
In order, you know, let's have a good, let's flirt sometimes. Sure. But in order for me to build an empire, I have to have somebody beside me who at least says the words.
All right. So again, you're helping me build an empire, but I got to manage you. Says the words. I got to reassure you constantly to have her help me build an empire, which women have never. I mean, well,
you got to at least say the words. I got you.
I got you. Reassurance, reaffirming.
I'm on your team. Nobody can talk bad about you to me. You're mine. We are together.
But they say men are controlling, right? This is her being controlling and a little bit insecure that the man she has to compete for. So, but she wants to flip it and make him compete for her instead of her competing for him.
I need to feel that passion, that hunger, that grit. And I'm only a woman. I can't teach you how to be a gritty motherfucker. I can't.
So he's supposed to hustle, but also reaffirm. This is when men fail. So he's out here hustling, grinding, and being gritty, but he has time to constantly reassure and reaffirm her. By the way, By the time you get done doing both of those things, you have no time for anything else. All right. And will you get sex as a reward? All right. A lot of women don't want to leverage sex as a reward here, but let's continue.
You know, and I think that he's okay where he is. He's okay where he is. He's not looking too far in the future. He's not looking too far in the past. He's just here. And that's beautiful. I think that's exactly what another different woman needs. But this woman, I need somebody to push us and get up 4 a.m. Let's go, baby. We got to go. We got goals. You got Fashion Week this week. We got goals. Come on.
Okay. So just understand what she's asking for. It sounds nice. Hey, get up at 4 a.m. Come on. Let's go. Let's do this. We got to do that. But what you don't realize and what she's not saying is that she's going to be like a donkey. She's going to be like a donkey. She's going to like walking a donkey. She's going to rebel, put up all kind of, oh, I don't want to do it today. Can I just not do it today? Can we do it today? Why you always bothering me? Let me just sleep in. Women need more rest than men. Like, you're going to have to pull teeth. You're going to have to pull them fake ass teeth out, each one of them, to get her to do this. Because now you're controlling her. Now you're making her do some shit. Now she all moody and pissy going to the gym at 5 a.m. Now when you telling her what to do, stop telling me what to do. Okay. Let me just do my own program. All right. Now you're the controlling one. Okay, let's continue.
Come on, baby. I'm training you all week. Let's go. I need that. You know? And so I love him. I definitely do. He is such a good guy. And I'm going to feel a little bit of envy when he posts, you know, his woman.
Yep.
But I know it couldn't have been me because God did.
Oh, it wasn't her. So the dude that broke up with her and dumped her, it wasn't her fault. It was his fault. But she's also going to be watching him on social media with a new bitch because he going to have a new bitch.
And it's all Jermaine.
He gonna have a new bitch.
It's always Jermaine.
And she knows that. He gonna have a new, better version of her in days and weeks. I mean, quickly, because he's the man. She's not. Now, she'll have another full DM full of bum niggies for sure, and rappers and athletes. She gonna have that full, and maybe CGA gonna get in there, all right, and get her for about a week. But she knows that he gonna move on fast and do better than her. She can't because, well, all she's promising the guys that already have their shit together don't need this from her. Like, even he didn't need this from her. All right, I don't need this boss shit and you to buy me a car. I am the boss. I got leverage.
Give me all this ambition and all this desire to be great just to end up with somebody who's okay with just being here. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Men get too much credit for being a good person, for opening
your
door.
Whoa.
Men get too much credit for bringing you flowers sometimes.
Whoa, listen.
That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Men get too much credit for being a good person, for opening your door. Men get too much credit for bringing you flowers sometimes.
Damn. I said this earlier. You don't realize what you're getting into. And again, the younger, more attractive ones, they're not out here thinking, oh, a guy's going to come sweep me off my feet and I'm going to just praise him. You get too much credit. You get too much credit for opening door. You get too much credit for being a nice guy. Sheesh. Man, good luck. And look at the engagement. Your wife and girlfriend is in there. Look at the amount of people who favorited this. Look at the amount of likes. Look at the amount of comments. Your girl is in there on this internet. Your girl watched this. Your girlfriend watched this and is thinking the same thing. Yeah, girl.
You getting too much credit for that because they making that look like it's a big thing. It's not.
Oh my!
That's requirements. That's like waking up and brushing your teeth, baby.
Oof.
I deserve the world.
Because
I'm gonna bring you the world.
Wow.
So what are you bringing me back?
Golly.
What are you feeding my mind? What are we talking about right now? Like, You want to read together? Like, what do you want to do? How do we level each other up? How do we both level each other up? And how do you
see all this energy that's required? When I say all men pay, look at all the energy required. Let's read together. Let's do Bible study together. Let's go train together. Let's go. You see all of this energy that you thought is free, but it's not. You're going to be paying. And dude, she'll take Pookie and do the same thing, just so you know. And that's where Pookie fails, and he's going to go fuck a better version of this woman too. And she going to bring the world. All right, I don't think so. All right, she hasn't brought it to anyone else yet.
teach me to calm down a bit? Words.
Teach me. See that? Teach me to calm down. Management, words, energy.
Actions. Christina, I got you, baby. I know you get anxious. You getting anxious. I could feel you.
See that? She's getting anxious. Her emotions are getting out of control. She's telling him how to coach her to calm down. Because you know she's going crazy and going buck wild. And she's sounding irrational. She's like, hey, man. And he's like, baby, I got you. Don't worry. I got you. She's not showing you that part where she flipping out. She having a conniption.
You getting anxious? Come here. Give me a kiss. I got you.
By the way, what she's talking about works. So I'm not saying that it doesn't work. What she is talking about, men that can leverage this can do this. She's actually, what she's saying is right. All right. It's right. Even if your daughter was doing it, your wife, your girlfriend, your sugar baby, this is going to happen. And what that response is, what she's looking for is right. Because what she wants you to do is reassure her, grab her by the neck, pull her chin in and be like, don't worry, baby. It's going to be all right. Daddy got you. So what she's talking about is a scenario that does work. However, you better be prepared. She's going to want you to do this over and over again. This is not a one-off. This is going to be shit that you do constantly, as she's describing. This is a constant. Let's continue. Because that's the attention. That's the attention and energy. Energy, attention. And also, you still got to open doors and take her out to restaurants and shit like that. That's minimum. That's regular shit.
Oof. God. Yes, Lord. I'm going to wait. I'm going to be patient, Lord. I broke up.
All right. So there it is right there. Interesting, right? Woo. We quickly go. Let's do the money, energy, attention, and time. All men pay. Nobody getting out of this shit for free, bro. And even if you, let's say, for instance, you say, well, I'm going to just do this and do it for a long enough and get what I can without spending the energy, attention, and time. Trust me, she going to make you pay on the back end. She going to get you in the end. She going to be making your life a living hell on the back end of it. Shout out to our brother here. It is Roderick Miller says, paying tuition for the Ghost Watchers. Keep teaching, coach your worth ethic. I keep saying that wrong. And consistency are unmatched. That's what people can't get. You can't keep up with good old coach. Shout out to Roderick Miller for the sponsorship.
I'm Rizz,
The sponsorship. Good luck, gentlemen. That's the new version of women today. That's the new one. They free. Adapt or perish. But no going in that it's going to be something like this. Damn. Quickly here. Shout out to Offset says, thoughts on two babies. I'm 45 with the low body count, but my lady wants me to try IUI. He says, I'm really not a fan of having a kid through forced conception. I know emotionally I'd be checking out and also feel like there's a devilish cost when he wants cash in favor of sacrifice. All right. I don't know what that means. When he wants cash in a favor or sacrifice. Oh, that's the devilish cost. So you're saying having a baby that is not natural seems to be not appealing to you. And you're 45. You want to have baby with a woman? All right. Good luck. I don't know anything about having kids, through test tubes and science, but I think we're all having kids through science in one way or another. All right. Shout out to you. Good luck with that. I would say I wouldn't do it. Sean Johnson says, I saw that folder labeled feet picture when that laptop failed. All right, shout out to you right there, man. Do I have a feed picture folder? I'm pretty sure I do somewhere. All right, somewhere. Shout out to Kaylin says, women typically get labeled 304s because they failed to keep the man that they slept with. Why is it when they promote sexual liberation, they still won't reveal their body counts? He says, yes, most women are whores today, mainly for the world, not just for one man. Well, they'll say they were a whore for one man, but he messed it up. And then she had to go to the next guy. That's how they work that magic out. There was like, she'll say, I didn't want to be sleeping around with multiple men. I want to do it for one man, but it just happened to be for 16 men. Okay. Shout out to our brother. It is Miles says, a grand week of the best entertainment on Al Gore's internets. Happy to see you enjoying getting your health up and with all the attention on your Browns Bay. Enjoy your day off and see you on Sunday on Locals and Money Mindset. Shout out to Iggy in the building. That is a co-sponsorship. Shout out to you. We're going to get some help. I'm actually need a little bit of rest for show. No government name says, this is my girlfriend to a T. Always needs me to check on her, even if I work 20 hours in a row, which I do at least once a week. Can't happen, and she'll come to me in tears. Fellas, a woman crying is not evidence of your wrongdoing. Shout out to no government name related to that. I will tell you, man, it's a thing when you get into relationships, you cannot compete with their needs. Their needs are just so great. And in my opinion, they're going to need to, because we look at relationships from a fantasy level, we think one person can do all for the other person. In my opinion, I admit I can't do everything for one person. So that if I was in a relationship, that I would say you would need multiple people to get what you want. Now, if you don't want other men fucking her or going to other men, then I think other women in her life needs to provide that. But those women have to be healthy too. They have to agree with me. They can't just be other women that be like, can you do this for you? They can't be her friends can't be Christina Mackey and her telling my girl where I have shortcomings. They would have to be friends that would be like, yeah, he's doing his best. Don't worry. You're lucky to be in the position you're in. Unfortunately, it's hard to find other women. They can't find other women that will say that to them. Okay, they want to find and have, when women get together, they want to talk about where their man is having a shortcoming, not how great their man is. And in fact, even if one woman in the group talks about, well, my man is great, I don't have to worry about it, they're going to sabotage that girl too. See Sex in the City. They're going to say he can't be that perfect. Okay, so that's where we are. That's where we are. And I even think in the situation where men, I don't think one woman can satisfy a man. Overwhelmingly, onesie twosie here and there skis. A lot of women can't keep up. If a guy has a high sex drive, that woman can't keep up, more than likely. And the same is works the opposite way. If a woman has a high sex drive, there may be an opportunity. He can't keep up either. He can't keep up with that vibrator. He can't perform and give her orgasms every time. Especially if he's a guy that has other things. You work 12 hours a day. You work 20 hours every 2 days. He can't come and blow her back out and make her come. He can't do it. He cannot do it. He's going to come up show. Tony Ocasio says these young and older broke guys need to understand to reinvent yourself takes 5 to 10 or 15 years to get the coach's status. Young girls, they're not going anywhere. High school and college graduation don't end, my brother. My goal is to get them before the year 2032. You're going to get there and them before the year 2032. But yeah, I guys hit a lick, but it wasn't an overnight. It wasn't like it worked immediately. So that's what a lot of people don't think. You're out here flexing YouTube money. First of all, I'm not flexing YouTube money, right? I have a way to do social media that I don't have to depend on YouTube money per se. All right. But it's going to take a while, but you don't even have to get to my level. All right. I kind of went past that level for now. All right. Obviously, I want to keep it going, but I went past the level most people are ever going to get to. You don't even need that much, right? Just to let you know. And if you get to my level, let's say you get halfway to where I've gotten and you don't have kids. You don't have a wife. You didn't go through a divorce. You're not paying child support. You don't have massive debt. You'll be past me even making less money. Most people don't realize most of my money was wasted back based on my decision to get married and divorced. Okay, not wasted. Most of my money went to that. Right? Even though I made a lot of that money went back payment. It went back to even my college debt. So if you had none of that and you was able to go, you don't even need to get halfway to where I got. But I was dealing back with child support, dealing back with court cases, dealing back with my student loan, dealing back to my financial recovery after my divorce, dealing back to getting myself on my feet. I had to pay a lot of that backwards. Paying for my kids to go to college. That's all was based on my decision to get married in 2004. So shit, life worked out for me by the time 2018 came around. But then the money that I made was going backwards to that all the way up until the year 2024. It is, I'm telling you, man, that's what people don't realize. But if you had none of that, and then you hit where I hit and just did half of that, you'll have more than I have today. Because you would keep more to your pockets. So the bar is not as high as you might think. Shout out to brother JC, says the other day, my friend who is 7 months pregnant came over to use my printer and the thing got a little crazy right here. What? What are we doing? Your friend came over 7 months pregnant and things got a little crazy. She was extra horny and begged to drop that neck. 5 minutes later, you busted down her gullet. She swallowed it. At first, I was like, okay. And he says, I was like, why? So you had a woman that's pregnant that dropped that neck. All right. I was trying to read that, JC. I know you're a comedian. Sometimes I don't know if you're joking. DJ says you're 100% correct. Whether you're on a date or just meeting a woman, you constantly have to manage and cater to her. It's old, tiring, and ridiculous. Shout out to you right there. That's where the men think it's free. And another guys will say, well, this is how you put a woman on your program. Let me address those guys, because I have a program as well. I have a type program. When I talk about at my JUCO, my program at the JUCO, my program at the JUCO requires a lot of management, a lot of details. Okay. And sometimes there's an investment plus. Now, can a guy get those same women for less? Yes. Can he keep that same women for less? Probably not. Not as long as I can keep them. Then all of a sudden, what will happen is you can't think that just having a woman in your program is the end all be all, because there's going to be an exit point. You got to negotiate the exit point, like a negotiation of exiting the marriage. You have to have a softer landing. You have to put that in. But managing a program requires you to put forth great energy and attention. You have to know that going in. If you think you're going to avoid that, you're crazy. You have to have that. Even if you have a woman that is, your girlfriend, you bet, and you have a tight program on your girlfriend, that means you are managing her. Managing is not free. You're going to spend lots of time managing her. And then you're going to have to look at what you're getting from it. What are you getting from it? The things that women will do for you, I will admit, will put not all of them. A woman will put a lot into you that seems like minimum. They're little shit, little details. This is how women work. They do little details here, little details there. In their mind, though, what they'll do is they'll tell you later on that they did so much. And from their perspective, they did, right? Let's say they did a little arts and crafts for you and they tied a little box. Like I used to have women wrap my Christmas gifts. They would wrap my Christmas gifts. They would take their time. They would write a little note on the gift. They'll wrap it properly. They'll put fairy dust on it. They'll put a fucking bow with glitter on it, and they'll package them up nice and tight. Then the next day she'll get up and she'll do X, Y, and Z. She'll do all of these things. And you'll be like, thank you, baby. I appreciate everything you do. You don't think she's keeping score? You don't think she's tallying that shit up along the way? She's tallying these things along the way. She's keeping score. And by the time she get to 15 and 20, and all you did was say, thank you, baby, and told her to bend over, set the clock. Start the clock. Start the clock. Then tell her the shit that she does, she's supposed to do it as a woman. Start the fucking clock. Start the clock, nigga. You gonna start paying for that. Because let that shit get to 20 and 30, 30 and 40. And she done brought you muffins and all kind of shit. And she done did this and went to the store and bought you breakfast. Watch this. Go to breakfast and not bring her no breakfast back. See what happens, nigga. It's gonna be a fire started. You're gonna need the fire alarm to come in. Cause she gonna start a fire. Wait, you went to the store and then bring me back. You went to Starbucks and then bring me back one. She was like, remember I went back? Now she gonna start making you pay. Remember that time I went to Starbucks and brought you a cup back? And dudes thinking this shit is free. Cause I'm like, bruh, nah, bro. She paid in advance. She put that shit into you. Also, now what happens is the women know I'm not gonna give you these duties without you giving her a commitment or a ring. So they already know that this is built in. They already know this isn't free. But you think it's free. Oh, my woman does this and she does that. Start the fucking clock. Do some shit that's selfish and see what happens. Just letting you know, your ass gonna get a surprise of your life. She gonna start recounting that score back. Remember I did that. Remember I did that. I hit that from the field. I shot a 3. I pulled up right here for a jumper. I hit a mid-range jumper. I hit a layup. Everything a woman gives you is a gift. Everything you give a woman is a gift. Everything she gives you is a loan. You're gonna start paying that loan back with motherfucking interest. With interest. Somebody said it's a high interest loan. Ain't shit free. Ain't shit free, bro. As soon as you then say, well, I ain't giving you all that shit back. You're not going to pay the loan back. Where's she gone? Jumping on another dick. She going to be on another dick. Like a pogo stick. You lost your girl. What you going to say? Well, I hit anyway. Yep, exactly. Or she might even do worse, find another dick and then fuck with you all for the next year and a half. Now you can't get rid of her. She gonna be calling the system on you, putting you on child support if you have kids. She gonna taking your ass to court, dragging you up and down the hill, back and forth. Or she gonna be outside burning your motherfucking car up. Okay, just like that. Take your pick. She gonna get that back.
Get in my car. Look at this pig in my car. I can't stand this hole. I can't stand this shit. Fuck this.
Calling the police on you, filing cases against your ass. Hey, man, dude, you always pay. All men pay. And it only takes you one woman to make you pay for all the women. You fuck around and do it the wrong. That pussy was not free. Okay, that was a loan. She loaned you that punani, nigga, with hopes that she can get that paid back. You're going to have to go ahead and pay that shit back with interest. Or she going to be on internet setting your ass on fire. Look at them. Remember them ABBA hoes? Them ABBA hoes was on the internet for a good 3 weeks talking shit. That's what I call payback with interest. Payback. All right, no government name. Can I explain why you think men watch your expose? Wait, can you explain? Reading with CGA. Can you explain why women watch you expose the realities of dating women, but still fall in love in relationships? My disappointment is that men still listen to me and still they think I'll just do it. I'm going to find a woman that doesn't fit CGA's profile. And they'll go about trying to do that. And to me, that makes me not want to do content. You know, there's a bunch of reasons why I don't want to do content for this space anymore at this level is because men are stupid, right? So what they'll do is they'll say, I see what CGA is saying, but I'm going to find one that's not like that. And they'll go set a forth to do it, not realizing that give it 5 to 10 years. Even if you found her and she didn't do that, 5 to 10 years is going to tell you. So it ain't, you're going to find out sooner or later. Nigga, I don't know. It might be later, but dudes don't really believe me like that. They're like, nah, I can't be like that. Okay. But I look at it and say, like, dude, why argue with men at this point? Why argue with the shit that I argue with the space anymore? Like, it's just, to me, it's not appealing to the point. I can find other ways to make money via content creation. Like, I'm a content creator. I'm not just a guy in the manosphere or a guy that talks about women. I'm able to transition this into various forms of income. Why do I do this for this particular group of guys? Like, what the fuck? It's not rewarding. It's great. It's not rewarding. Doesn't reward me in the way that you might think. Right, especially just the YouTube aspect of it. Now I have Money Mindset and Locals that does very well. It does very well, and I'm like, shit, I'll just do that. Right, I'll just do that. Like, goddamn. But trying to cater to these fucking women haters and, you know, red pill rangers and trying to keep up with the expectation of loser niggas and them come in with their blue pill Christ. It's like, what the fuck, man? I'm getting worked up and working hard for these bitch ass niggas to let me manage some OnlyFans hoes. Fuck that. Right. Let me give my AI OnlyFans bitches. Because I got a good enough team. I got a good enough team that we can create an OnlyFans AI bitch and make a whole bunch of money. Fuck that. I just pivot my team, my editors. All right. I got 2 AI guys and 3 editors. We could just make an OnlyFans bitch. All right, fuck these dudes. All right, let's go get a bag. But I'm trying to teach these motherfuckers common sense, and they don't trust me. Like, what the fuck? I gotta argue with them about a fake ass Christian zombie. Like, look, and then they want to tell me what I can and can't talk about on the show. Coach, man, you got to stop talking about Jesus. Man, fuck that. I can talk about whatever the fuck I want. What you can do is get the fuck off my show because I don't need you. I don't need you in your fucking views. I don't need you. I can do whatever the fuck I want and say whatever the fuck I want about any of you. All right. I can do what I want to do. I can stop the whole main event and say, fuck the main event. I cannot do the main event. You guys realize that, right? I don't have to stick to the fucking script. Like, what makes you think I have to stick to the script to entertain you, bitch ass nigga? You could go kick rocks. You could go down across. Nigga, you could go down across, nigga, like your holy sacred Jesus, for all I give a fuck. Right? I don't give a fuck what you do, nigga. You can eat the blood and the bread of the lamb, nigga. As far as I'm concerned, nigga, you could die choking on the goddamn blood of the lamb. As far as I'm concerned, but I don't have to protect you, bitch nigga. You can be redeemed and choke on a fucking cracker in the church, taking fucking, what does they call it? All right, as far as I'm concerned. You can put the fucking thorny crown on your fucking head and tap dance and nail yourself to a cross. I don't care. Communion. Taking Holy Communion and shit. Drinking grapefruit juice and wine and choke. Nigga, as far as I'm concerned, I really don't care. All right, it don't offend me, nigga, and it shouldn't offend you. You the one celebrate that shit. You the one wearing a cross around your neck. But what you ain't gonna do is tell me what I can't say. As long as I ain't violating nobody, it is what it is, nigga. I don't gotta believe in your fucking shit. Anyway, nigga. He said, I'm going to hell. I'll save you a seat. Because y'all all going to hell. Look at them. They get mad. How Jesus getting in this? Y'all want to talk about Jesus until I start talking about Jesus. Like, why is that weird? I find that weird. And the more you guys act out, the more I'm going to do it. You guys notice, the more y'all bitch about it, the more I'm going to talk about it. Or have you not figured this out? The more you tell me not to talk about it, the more I'm probably going to talk about it. And the more extreme I'm going to get. Because I'm not scared of Jesus or your Lord or Savior Jesus Christ or your Holy Ghost. Like, it doesn't scare me. Like, I'm not scared of that shit. So you're scared of it. I'm not. But the more you tell me I can't do it, it's probably more likely that I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it like lethally and right in your face. Okay. I just want you to know that that's how I work. And you know this. You know this about me. I've made a whole life career out of this for 10 years of people saying what I can't say and only forcing me to say it more. All right. You call me an Uncle Tom, more than likely I'm going to go extremely anti-pro-black. The Black Manosphere found this out. The Black Manosphere found this out. Coach, a sellout. They stopped calling me a sellout when I started doubling down on being a sellout. Now, I've never heard them call me a sellout ever since I claimed it. What did they say? Coach is doom and gloom. I literally doubled down on doom and gloom. What did they say? Coach is a trick. I literally doubled down on Coach being a trick. Okay, I'm going to double down on it. We're going to do every show going to have me tricking. Oh, CGA, stop talking about Christians. Now it's going to be a segment about Christians every show. Every show, I'm going to talk shit about Christians in Jesus Christ. Just because. Why not? If it bothers you, I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm going to make it part of the show. Okay. I'm the Antichrist. Here we go. Now I'm the Antichrist CGA. It don't scare me to say that. You see what I mean? CGA a simp for these JUCOs. He tricking. Now I got a whole fucking platform about it. A monetized dating course. CoachGregAdams.locals.com. All right. But y'all will figure it out. But threatening me will never stop me from talking. I got a big ass motherfucking mouth and a bunch of opinions. Anyway, let's get to this one here. We'll do a main event. 15 minutes of the thumbnail. Talk about the main event, coach. Here's your 15 minutes. And it's at the end of the fucking show. So I gotta go. I got shit to do. But let's do the main event. The main event. Let's do it. Here we go right here. Let's do it. Here we go right here. The main event. What is the main event here? That was the main event yesterday that we never got to, but like I care. Nobody even remembers it. Let's do the main event. The main event is why today's women have freedom and men can't handle it. As you can see, there has been quite a lot of lead up related to this particular topic, but a lot of men that are male space oriented, they're literally centering themselves around being things back traditional, the nuclear family, the two-parent household. All right, these type of things that do make great civilizations and societies, but it is far gone and lost. Most people that are 18 to 30 won't see and build a nuclear family. It is of the old guard that is kind of gone as an expectation, and that's across the board. You even see Paul PBD, Patrick Bet David, trying to figure out. He called it a crisis. And then they calling it male loneliness epidemic. They're all saying that there's going to be more single women having no kids and no marriages by the year 2032. The majority of women will be in that situation. They also are saying more women over 40 are having babies than even teenage women for the first time in our history. So we're seeing the needles move. We're seeing the birth rate declining. And also, we're also seeing that men are trying to desperately cling on to things that existed 50, 70, 80, 90, 100 years ago as the source of solution, even religion as the source of solution. And people are getting less religious, especially when, even when the women are religious, they are somewhat even spiritual at the same time, or they'll pivot the religion to fit their narrative to be whores and skeezers. So it is where we are. I predicted this is where we will be in my book, The Evolution, and it's not changing in my opinion. This is why I say men can't handle it. They're failing to adapt. They just jump on the internet and call women names, expecting that it's going to change. Oh, these girls are prostitutes. They'll just claim it. I just showed you a video of a woman claiming it. We're going to be whores anyway. I'll play the video just so you can get a refresher of the woman saying it. Well, if we're all going to be hoes, let's just be hoes. Right? Because we can't win no matter what. These men are always going to use what? Patriarchy and control to control our behavior. Here it is.
As a young woman, you should be a whore. Hear me out. The obsession with female sexuality is as old as humanity itself. Abrahamic religions present to us the virgin, honorable, pure, and they present to us the whore, shamed, degraded, cast out. They appear everywhere in art, literature, jokes, pornography, fantasies. You probably don't remember the first time you were called a whore. You probably don't remember the first time you called someone a whore. As the years go on.
Sorry, that's an example. That's an example. So that's what she's looking at. She's like, look, no matter what, we're going to be called it, whether we're married, single, old, young, no matter what we do, they're going to always attribute whatever we do into being a 304. So now this goes into this real quick. This goes into the trad wife era. I said, again, CGA said that the trad wife nuclear family ideal, specifically that men try to uphold, and you're seeing more and more women running away from it, was an aberration. It was an aberration, meaning in effect, it was only a short period in our history, a blip in the space-time continuum that was not normal. So the traditional wife, the nuclear household, was reflected in American culture only as a short time. Not a long time. It represented just a short period of history, and it was a result of post-World War II life. Men returning back from war, men wanting to build families. The economy was there. It was promoted. It was marketed to, ovens, consumerism, ovens, and a ranch house and a white picket fence. This is all brought to you by, I would say, propaganda. It was as much propaganda as anything. Even people who were married and had children with women who lacked opportunities to get education and their inability to support themselves, even those families didn't have what you would idealize as a traditional nuclear family household. Many of the women, especially the Black community, the women still worked. Many times they still work for white people as a diner. They kind of were still doing slave work, right? They still work for white people in some form or fashion. A maid, a housekeeper, right? Working at a diner, at a white business. Even today, women that work, Black women particularly, still work for the white man. They work in plantations, but the plantations are just in offices, not on the field. Okay, so there's still a link where even that woman in a traditional household, nuclear family, still worked outside. In high suburban areas, particularly WASP, white cultures, they were able to hold on to this imagery a little bit longer. And even today, they still kind of get married in this imagery where the guy has to uphold this nuclear family. Now, if he drops a ball while he's juggling, pause, guess what? The whole thing collapses. He cheats. He gets caught having hookers. He gets caught and the wife reveals that he used to get pegged, but he's a Christian and goes to church. Guess what? The whole imagery falls. His daughter becomes an OnlyFans girl. The whole imagery falls. His daughter becomes the town whore. The whole imagery falls. The son becomes a lazy, lethargic guy, apathetic male. And he doesn't become a doctor or a lawyer. And he goes to Cal State Northridge instead of UCLA. The whole image falls. You don't realize that the nuclear family requires the man to constantly be providing for the kids to even show that the nuclear family worked. So when they start picking colleges and the kid says, I'm not going to go to college, it all falls apart. The kid says, I'm not going to go to that university. I'm not going to go to Harvard. I'm going to go to University of Portland State. This shit falls apart. So even the nuclear family has to constantly be fed. And a lot of guys don't want to put in that work. A lot of guys don't knowingly know that that's the case. A lot of these nuclear families, the husband and the wife travels down to Jamaica and the husband watches the wife get plowed by a Dexter. Okay. A Dexter. And that's part of keeping the nuclear family together. And they hide that imagery down in Jamaica and they come back to America and nobody knows. There's a lot of infidelity and swinging and all of that shit. And they hide that in the nuclear family. A lot of these nuclear family guys are cucks and gays. A lot of these nuclear family males are cucks and gays. They're beta males. And you're like, oh, he's a beta male. He's a simp. But they're cucks and gays. And they hide behind the nuclear family. They hide it, and the woman is the beard. And the woman gets to fuck her personal trainer. And you're like, how does he stay? Because he's cucking a gay. That's why he stays. He wants to keep that nuclear family image. So the nuclear family is much mythology as anything. So let me play this video of this real quick and show you what's going on here.
1950s are an aberration for humanity. That is not a normal traditional structure at all. Neither is the 1900s actually at all, because it's so informed by Victorian era values. Queen Victoria was a nut job, and the things that she introduced are destructive.
What did she introduce?
If we could erase Queen Victoria from history, it would be so much better for humanity.
Wow.
That's a whole other episode. Let's have that episode someday. Apart from that, it is,
by the way, he's probably gay too.
Not normal for one woman to do everything. The structure of the man works and he comes home and everything is perfect for him.
All right. So the structure of, and I don't know what this guy, I think I've seen him before. I don't know who he is, but I think he's definitely more on the feminist agenda than anything else. And he might be ecclesiastically gay. But as you can see, the structure of the nuclear family works for him, not her. By the way, I'm not here to debate. We're just presenting another argument here. I'm not going to red pill rage you here. What I'm saying is, and it is somewhat true, what men present to women as his ideal woman, more than likely only benefits him or benefits him more than it benefits her, especially today. Especially with what women can do on their own. Certainly you can say that's true. Let's continue.
And it's not normal either. A structure where you have 20 family members and the men go farm in the fields and the women are working together, rotating and caring for children, resting, laughing, talking, playing. The men come back from the fields tired, but they're refreshed, and they come in and actually get to work doing things in the home and playing with the kids and integrating with the family.
All right, so this is the idea, the old idea of the woman at the home and the woman teaching the kids and playing with them, and then he comes up and kicks his feet up. Is not what actually happens in nuclear families. The fathers are more involved. The father takes burden from the mother. The mother gets to go to Pilates and gets matcha and even see her personal trainer on the side. And really, that's true. Really, that's true. And I heard a poor black in here saying this is white culture. But black culture in America is matriarchal and more oriented to the plantation, meaning that the woman runs the roost. The woman sets the rule. The stepfather conditions. The man, the alpha C beta needs. The mom has the black woman has kids by other men, irresponsible men, and the guy gets to clean it up. All right. And there's pride in that. So I don't know why people try to make that a race issue. Black men's conditions are way worse than white men's conditions. It's way worse. All right. And I don't want to hear about what they do in Africa or Nigeria because you niggas aren't there. We're talking about black culture's relationships are way worse. I'm talking about even 10 times worse, where the woman sets the rules, even if she makes less money, right? Even if she makes less money, even if you both are high impact, high power players, she decides how many kids she has, who she fucks, when you fuck, when you don't. It's way worse on the black side. Okay. It's not even close. Right. There's no nuclear family on the black side at all. The woman gets to have kids with whoever she wants. Meanwhile, if you have kids with whoever you want, nigga, they put you on the side of a fucking milk carton. All right. They make you the poster child of degeneracy in the black community. But meanwhile, more black women have kids by multiple men than do black men have kids by multiple women. It's not even close. So don't make this a race issue because there's no nuclear family at all in the black community at all statistically. Let's continue.
And connected and bonded, and now you have dinners together and all the women are rested and all the men are bonded and they are solving problems and parenting, and the kids don't just have mom and dad, they have 20 other family members to engage with. So if dad dies, you have your brothers and his
why the dramatic music in the back,
brothers and his dad and your dad to learn secure attachment from. That's a normal human structure. Now that's what women's systems are designed for. Women are not supposed to be out there alone doing everything.
All right, so they're not supposed to be alone doing everything, which I'm going to say makes a case for polyamory, where it would be more suitable for women to be polyamorous. Now, that's going to eliminate a lot of men, which we need to eliminate them. So, but the system of monogamy, faithful nuclear family is disappearing, and we're going to do more polyamory, polygynous or polygamous, whatever you want, where that's going to be more suitable for the woman favors. It favors the woman. See, polygamy or polygyny favors the woman, even though she might have some jealousy of the man fucking another woman in her house or around or adjacent and him supporting her. But it actually works for her better because then she doesn't have to be every woman. Okay. She doesn't have to be every woman. But let's go through some quick data here in terms of the nuclear family and why men can't handle the new version of this, because this is dying. It says the male breadwinner nuclear family is not the traditional human family, and promotion of this myth may have adverse health consequences. All right, I talked about this. This is in the National Library of Medicine, published in right here, the philosophical something social biology science. There's the source. You see it on your screen right there. So it is an abstract article, scientific article, if you will. And I've talked about this before. The widespread myth of Western context that the male breadwinner, female housemaker, nuclear family is a traditional family structure leads to focus on mothers alone as the individual with responsibility for childbearing. Inaccurate perceptions about the family have the potential to distort academic research and public perceptions and hampers attempts to improve parental and child health. Not only that, I think, in my opinion, it puts too much burden on the man, but they're not going to present it from this. The burden that nuclear families have on the men is not spoken about. They talk about it from the children and the woman's perspective, but as I've been accurately able to portray is that you have to manage a nuclear family day by day, hour by hour, even when you're not present. Men think that the family just runs on its own and the woman is going to just pick up the rest of the slack. No, you got to manage that. So this is where men have unrealistic expectations. And even though when they do this, they don't get credit for it. As you saw Christina Mackey say, that's normal. You're supposed to do that. You don't get credit for it. The minute you drop the ball, it all implodes. Most men can't handle a nuclear family, but they want women to actually audition for they broke ass to put one together. So we got another one here. Men can't handle this tooth quickly. The nuclear family is a myth that limits our capacity to understand each other. All right, there it is right there. Okay, I can go through this a lot, but this is what you have to put up with. Even let's say you have a wife and she wants a nuclear family and she gets one. Guess what she's going to read? Guess what video she's going to see? And then guess what? Bait and switch. U.S. culture is obsessed with the individual while also discouraging more than the most token expressions of individual identity. The nuclear family is an artificial construct. Traditionalism. What is the other one called? Ecclesiastical marriage. But it's an artificial construct. Historically, it's an artificial construct. And one that has never been real in the idealized form that we are taught to strive for. It's past time to relearn who and what we are and allow humans to be humans. By the way, I mean, listen, the world's going this way. Even though we don't want to and we want to think differently, I realize and have accepted the world's going this way. All right. Whether you disagree or agree, the world's going this way. Let's show you a couple more. And people say I cherry pick. Right. The persistent myth of the nuclear family. From ancient DNA to baby bonuses, the persistent myth of the nuclear family conceals diverse kin-making practices. They going into the DNA of the nuclear family. Okay, they're talking about French lineages, going into the DNA of French lineages and linking individuals to other linking individuals and saying it is not true here. Going to human skeletal remains. Baby bonuses. Okay, wow. Baby bonuses to keep people from to keep them to make nuclear traditional families. Interesting. I'm actually want to read this shit. All right. I'm not going to read it today because I ran out of time. All right, we got this one right here. Yes, David Brooks, the nuclear family is the worst family form except for all others. This is the Institute for Family Studies. There's the black nuclear family. All right, there's an essay here. It says right here, the article was the nuclear family was a mistake. All right, published in the Atlantic. All right, we'll go ahead and show you that just to show you a couple of sources and you guys can pull this up right there. The nuclear family was a mistake, all right? And they're showing a black household right there. The family structure that we've upheld as the cultural idea for the past half century has been a catastrophe for many. It's time to figure out better ways to live together. By the way, statistically, although more kids grow up in a two-parent household, we have a variety of households of how kids grow up. But there are some benefits to raising kids in a two-parent household. We have low conflict two-parent households generally experience greater socioeconomic and economic stability. Research shows this structure provides children with a broader support system, better educational outcomes, higher future earnings, and a significant lower likelihood of experiencing childhood poverty. So there's major benefits to nuclear family. And then we actually have this, which would be on the opposite side of the argument, the power of the two-parent household. But the problem is it a non-conflict? Is there conflict in the two-parent household? If there's conflict, divorce, separation, affairs, arguments, then the kid is negatively influenced. Okay. Family life in America has changed dramatically in a relatively short period of time. In the 60s, 73% of children live with two parents in their first marriage. But by 2014, less than half, 46% of children were living in this type of family. Less than half of the children are living in, this is important, two-parent household in first marriage. Now, the data will show, and people will cherry pick the data to say that not so. I'll show you here, which would be an argument against what I'm telling you in many cases. They'll say, coach, but in the United States, 70% of children are raised in a two-parent household, right? But is that true? Would that be true if I said the nuclear family is imploded, that most children do not live in a two-parent household where the parents are married, but that was the first marriage? In actuality, when you look into the data of the nuclear family, two-parent household, they're including children living with married couples. So that could be people married for the first or second time. That could be two step parents. All right. That could be two parents. That could be the Brady Bunch. That could be the Brady Bunch. That could be two kids from two different daddies or mamas, that one married and the other parent didn't, but the kid lives with the married parent to a stepdad. So that could be, they're including all kids. Then they said unmarried cohabitants. That's not the nuclear family. In fact, I can argue that many people here are not the nuclear family. Children living with married couples, that's not nuclear. What about this? Unmarried cohabitating. That's not the nuclear family either. What about this? Blended families with step parents. So I guess they include that right there. Okay. Then it says married parents. Then it goes down. 60% of children live with both of their married birth or adopted parents. Or adopted parents, which is a small percent. I would say probably 5%, maybe 10% or less. Only 60%. I would say only 60%, but we got 60 to 65% of children live with both their married birth parents. That's 6 out of 10, my niggas. 6. It says cohabitating unmarried parents. About 5% or 6% live with unmarried couples or cohabiting birth parents. They never married. So that's outside of the nuclear structure. Blended families. 5% children live with a biological parent and a step parent. That's what I said, about 5%. Then a single parent household. Look at the number. 25 to 26% of children reside with a single parent. Over 21% live with the mother only, and nearly 5% with the father only. Other arrangements, 4% of children live with neither birth parents, such as with a grandparent or a foster parent. And if I was just to do some quick maths, that's that 40%. You see there, 4% there, 25 to 26. There's 5% there. There's 5% there. So that's 10, 35. There's the 40% of kids that don't live in a so-called nuclear parent family household. 6 out of 10. Okay. With that being said, you got near close to 50%. I know y'all don't want to give the 40% up and make it 50, but you got a 4 in 10 chance of not having a nuclear family, even if you have kids. Men can't handle this. So what are they doing? Trying to force and enforce. They're trying to do Hail Marys. They're trying to criticize. They're trying to call women names for this type of behavior. And it's not going to work. Okay. Because these stats are going to go further south. As you can see the promotion of it right there. More women don't see any need to have a nuclear family. More and more women. You ask a woman 18 to 30, they're probably going to say nuclear family is not in their goals. They'll say marriage is, but they're never going to come back and raise the kids in the house. They're going to go out and work, and they're going to put their kid in daycare, and they're going to make you do what? Make you jump the motherfucker, and they're going to make you gesture max. And then as soon as you stop gesture maxing, then they just pull the plug. Anyway, I got to get moving here, but shout out to you guys. What a great show. Did you like that 15 minutes of the main event? That seems to piss you off if I don't cover it. You seem to think that 15 minutes just made the show fail. All right, when that was just a thumbnail to grab your attention. All right, the story is not that big. I can't cover that for 3.5 hours, but you got 3 hours straight of edifying content along the way that led up to that. Dudes be like, just stick to the main event. Why you didn't do the main event? Was that important to you? Could your life go on, nigga? Oh, man. Somebody said, what should we do? I didn't told you what to do, right? Done told you what to do, brothers. I didn't gave you many alternatives to do, and just about as many ways you can have alternatives. The problem is you don't want to do it. Y'all just want to sit on the internet and try to get these bitches to come back by calling them names. KJ says, can I get my hands on the nope, I don't sell apparel anymore. And he says, recently I became a fraud victim at the JUCO and had to reset my banking info. She almost got me for $30K, but I think I lost my money mindset access. He says, been loyal to you since 2019. Yeah, you probably had lost your card, and the card that got charged, it doesn't exist anymore. So you probably have to plunk it down. And he says right there, okay, interesting. Yeah, you got, look, when a woman's around you, do not have your bank cards out in the open, because women will take down your bank card information, and they will take down the PIN code and the expiration date. They'll do that. There's some women that I know do that. All right. I know a Filipino woman that does that. She a scammer, and she got a pookie boyfriend in prison. It don't take them much. You leave a computer window open, you leave an iPad. Trust me, you turn the other way, or you tell them they tell you to send money via here, and you put your bank card information in there. They gonna get that shit. You better watch out. Drake Leo says, preach, coach. He says, exactly, coach. F these losers. They are all retards that will never succeed in life. They hate watch the show knowing it's all true. Their girl is going, and they hate the fact the most that their girl is gone. There's no loyalty. He says, boss up, you bitch ass niggas, right? Shout out to you. Yeah, there's a lot of hate watchers just waiting for my information to be false. And I don't get it. Like, I don't get it. Like, you have to be a crazy person to watch me for as long as I stream and be mad at me. I don't understand this. Like, I can't watch something that I hate on a daily basis for hours. I don't know. But that tells me who you are. That tells me who you are. That's who you are, nigga. Like, I don't know. I can never be. Shout out to Drake says, F the community. And he says right here, fuck what they have to say. These niggies can't even read. It's over for them. The black community ass nigga. Like, dude, the black community, these niggas don't want to spend more than $100. Just, I tell you, man, they bitch about spending $100 on a date. Now, watch this. I don't bitch about spending $100 on a date. I literally said, I'm not going to date until I have $100 I can spend on myself. But, dude, if you go out today and you go to high-end restaurants, let's say you go to high-end on a daily basis, you're going to spend, tell me if I'm not wrong for the people who do, you're going to spend $300 easily. You might as well budget if you go out. And this is where dudes, I'm going to tell you, you're going to get priced out. In today's world, you can spend $400 just for dinner. Just for dinner. Dinner and drinks, $400. Easily. That receipt comes in its $357 plus the tip, plus your transportation, plus the valet, whatever the fuck you added to that. Add whatever to that you gonna do. Your haircut, you getting hit over the head for $350. If you take you and your girlfriend, you and your wife, and that. Now, if you don't know, you don't live around that area, and you just want bitches to fuck you for free and sit around and doing nothing, and you're not gonna invest in your life, but you getting hit for $350. Like 100. Good luck. Good luck, bro. I don't know where you at. Y'all gonna be out here struggling, bro. You gonna be struggling. Somebody said Cheesecake Factory, 100 for me and my son, easy. I always have to say, because dudes be like, well, we should be taking these women out. Okay, let's say it's your son. Let's say it's your friends. Let's say it's a couple of your male buddies. You going over 100. Like, you going over 100. So what do dudes do? They'll do nothing. I don't want to go to that shit anyway. And they'll just sit there eating top ramen noodles. I'm like, bro, that ain't gonna work. I'm not gonna co-sign that. Just taking you out is $75. If I go to Cheesecake Factory and have 2 glasses of fucking lemonade and an entree, appetizer, nigga, that's $100 easily by myself at Cheesecake Factory. And I'm going to have leftovers and shit. But dudes don't want to, like, this type of mindset of men, I don't want to be associated with. I'm not going to argue with you over this shit. I'm not gonna, because y'all gonna make it about women and they don't deserve cheap tacos and shit like this. I'm out of that specter. I've never been in that sector anyway, but y'all tend to want to be drawn to me because I do better content than these punk niggas that y'all watch. So y'all gotta watch me because I'm on all the time. But y'all want to bring that cheap shit over here, nigga. I don't even treat myself like this. I don't even treat myself to less than $100 like now. And when I didn't complain about it. I didn't come out here and say the women and the men should lower their expectations. I just didn't complain about it. I was like, it is what it is. I can't afford it. Okay. But dudes be like, cook at home. See, I can't co-sign with that, nigga. Okay, y'all gonna have to go outside. Treat yourself. Treat yourself, bro. Treat yourself. You gonna cook at home every day? We just go sit at home. Them niggas be saying sit at home and cook for yourself. They ain't left the house in 5 years. Is that how you want to live? You want to live in your fucking bat cave? Is that what you want to do? See, that's them red pill niggas, extreme niggas. I just cook at home. You been cooking at home for yourself for 5 years straight. Ain't seen the outside. Telling niggas to cook for themselves. Yeah, cook at home. All right. Jesus Christ, bro. Let's go outside and enjoy your fucking life. Your job is not to fucking sit at home for the rest of your life in a goddamn cave. Anyway, shout out to Dion says, where the white women at? It is Wednesday.
Where the white women at?
All right, shout out to you. Man, men, treat yourself well. You deserve this shit. You're going to work for 60 hours a week and just sit at home with a $30 steak. You deserve better for yourself. Why do men, when they don't want to date women, just sit at home? Dudes want to just sit at home and not reward yourself. Nigga, go feel fly. Go feel fly. Go somewhere, nigga. You good? Go on a vacation, my nigga. You good? You deserve it. You deserve it, nigga. You deserve to be treated well. Be working all day, all week in a fucking cave, and then I'm gonna just sit at home here on a hibachi. All right. You deserve it. Cali West says, salute to the coach. I took the day off. He says, not to hang with hoes, but to get to the next level of the game, work on myself, boss up 2026, free agent lifestyle for life. Shout out to you, brother.
Boss up, nigga.
All right. Enjoy your life out here, brothers. Man, I'm going to just tell you, man, life goes by fast. When you're bossing up, it does take a while, but you guys will have to understand that you can't just sit at home in disappointment. Take care of yourself. Part of the free agent lifestyle, the art of self-care. People miss this message. Take care of yourself. Enjoy it. Get a massage, nigga, and not a rub and tug. Get a massage. Treat yourself. Get your spa treatment. Let that bitch hit you with all of that. Man, detox. Take care of your life. Go to the gym. Be healthy. Treat yourself well. There's a mental thing about you treating yourself well and the expectations of others to come into your life and treat you well and be treated well. Don't think that you're going to get away from this. Anyway, shout out to the coach gang. I got to go handle some business. All right. Yeah, we out of here. Brothers, enjoy your weekend. Get your cardio in and wear your condoms. Come in her mouth if you need to. And go pray to the Holy Ghost. We out of here. Peace. And you're in the Desert Storm bunker with Hollywood CGA.
Yeah. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Hey, yeah, we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. Legends ain't born, they built from the grind. From benches to banners, we sharpen the mind. We sharpen the sword and promise and swore that we going hard and leaving it all on the floor. loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is got the bands jumping at the bag. Vibe blowing on my jack. Got the loud jumping at the bag. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is got the bands jumping out the bag. Another milestone, look at that. Paper boy, I'm a paper route till I'm 6 down on my back. I'm an old soul like my dad. My old girl still a fan. And yo girl at the live show, so don't act like I ain't the man. I'm kicking my feet up, get frank like Aretha. I'm calm, but I'm teed up, just flip me a stack. The re-up just doubled up off of the muscle, I stuck to the task. They see me, I'm trouble, I'm bubbling up till it's stuck, and they want me to stay where I'm at. I'm good everywhere that I'm stepping, my presence is crucial. You know that this shit not no trend. On a big wave, I'm controlling the tide. Snake eyes when you rolling the dice. So with the stakes inside, I could never take another nigga advice. They can't reach the sky, I'm aiming up high. Just wanna know what it's like. Y'all know what it's like, I come from outside of this. Out the quicksand, I'm the big man, doing big things. Couple big change, up a state lines, doing stage dives on cam. Get my good side. It ain't no limit to my vision. Check the temp, I'm on fire with it. Got the bands jumping out the bag, Prosecco on ice. I'm nobody nice. Gonna run up a check, demand my respect. I'm doing the most, I never quit. They want me to quit. I'm good as it come, I'm good as it gets. Vibe blowing at the jack, got the loud jumping out the bag. Everything I'm on slap. Everything I do is